about, right?
Yeah. Um, Man, so all right, so this episode we are going to be talking about the substance that you
Mm-hmm.
recommended for me,
Yeah.
and then I don't know how many of John Carpenter's movies you got through because you didn't write them down here on the sheet, which is fine. Like we can get there, we'll get there in time. But I recommended you John Carpenter's filmography, just kind of as a broad general sense, with a couple movies in particular that I wanted you to watch being. I told you Big Trouble in Little China and They Live, right? As
Right.
like the important ones.
Yeah. And then anything extra I could get to was what you told me last time. So I'll tell you what I did and what I watched and everything. It's probably not going to be too super surprising, but that's okay. We'll get there when we get there. So,
how many of his movies did you watch? Like, we'll save which ones until later. But how many?
2.5, because I fell asleep
That's-
watching one.
That's it.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
I'm so disappointed in you.
I know. Well, so okay, I guess we could talk about it now. I was trying to watch the third one last night, and we were talking like I didn't sleep very good last night, so I was like nodding off and trying to watch it at the same time, which was probably a bad call to watch it after like a busy day at work and grocery shopping and adulting all day and trying to like sit on the couch and watch a movie. So I tried my best to watch the third one, and I had it planned to watch the third one yesterday, and then work screwed me over. So hey, it is what it is. So
yeah, but we will get to more of those in a little while.
mm-hmm.
We got to talk about what we've been watching over the last month. And Josh, why don't I go ahead and start us off here?
Okay.
Have you ever heard of Gurren Laggan or Laggan? Gurren Laggan. People say it both ways.
I've heard the name. I don't know much about it.
Okay, so this is a mecha anime from the mid 2000s, I think 2004.
Mm-hmm.
I should have had some notes up because there were a couple things that I wanted to mention specifically about this show. Hang on. Hold, please.
Oh, you're good. Vamping, saying things, filling dead air.
Yeah. The fucking production company. I wanted the name of the production company. Wikipedia, why are you failing me?
I just had it up in front of me. I should have left it up. It is a production company.
Yes. The animation studio.
It says program creator is Gynax. That does not
yes.
sound
All right.
Is that it? Or Animax.
Studio Gynax is what I wanted to talk about. Some people would probably know Studio Gynax from a couple of things. One big one would be Neon Genesis Evangelion.
Oh, okay.
They were the animation studio that animated that show back in the early 90s. Have you ever seen Eva?
It's one of those ones where I've seen episodes but never sat down to watch it front to back because if you have a bunch of friends that are weebs and you're growing up in the early 2000s, that's going to be on a lot, so yeah.
Yep.
So
okay.
one of those type of things where it's like we're playing Halo and then the other TV in the room has it playing and then you kind of catch snippets of it type of thing. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Good to know. It's being added to a list for a later point in time. But this is also the animation studio that animated Fooly Cooly.
Okay.
Which I know you know.
That. Yeah, I've seen that.
So the animation style is kind of a mix between those two. Like those would be the two big ones that I feel like you and other listeners would most likely know from Studio Gynax. They've done a bunch of other stuff. They did like Panty and Stocking. They did Gunbuster and a whole bunch of other anime. Like they were around for a while. But this anime is like animated with these like super stretchy, like very emotive characters in the same way that Fooly Cooly is.
Mm-hmm. Lots of smears and stuff between.
Yeah, lots of
frames.
smears and people just stretch and contort in weird ways, and so do the mechs. But the mech design is really really cool because all of the mechs in this show have faces, but they're like in their chest.
Hmm.
So instead of you
Like
know,
Krang
a
style
normal like
or whatever.
instead of like a normal Gundam, they're
Yeah.
like these weird little mechs. So this show follows the story of Simon and him and his friend is it Kaneda? I think that's his name. It's Kaneda,
Uh,
Kamina, something like that.
I think it's
Uh
pronounced Canada. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just screwing
no.
with you.
Kamina,
Kamina.
Kamina.
Nice.
Yeah. Um, so they live, and all the other humans live in like these underground cities. And whenever humans go to the surface, like some of the cities don't know that there's a surface anymore. Like they've been living down here for generations. And whenever humans do go to the surface, they get hunted and killed by these mechs, and they don't know why. So the story kind of revolves around, well, the Simon, he finds the tiniest mech, which is he calls Gurren, which is like it's literally just like a head that he fits inside of that has arms and legs attached to it,
Hmm.
and he's able to activate it with this key that he found that looks like a drill, and it's he's able to get to the surface with that mech, along with Kamina, and
He
they
froze.
end up meeting a whole bunch of other characters and
Hmm.
finding out like the mystery of what's going on and why everybody's been forced underground and why they're hunted while when they come to the surface and end up leading this rebellion against the there's like these beast people. They're like half human, half uh animal, like anthropomorphic animals essentially, that are all the ones that control the mechs on the surface. And yeah, they have to fight against all of them and defeat them to regain peace. And that's the end of the entire first act. And then there's an entire second act of the story where humans start living on the surface and another threat comes. And I don't want to get into that because I think the mystery of what happens there is so cool and so interesting. Um yeah, it's just a really really fun show. It's one that's like really famous and
Hmm.
is really well known. I would say, like maybe not as well known as like the biggest names in
Right.
anime,
Hmm.
but well known enough that like it's not obscure, you know.
Yeah.
You know what I
I
mean?
I feel like when Armor Core 6 comes out, and I listen to like a lot of video game podcasts, I heard people reference this show because the story was like somewhat similar in that game apparently. So, um,
I've not played Armored Core 6, so I couldn't tell you anything about that, but it would not surprise me if people were referencing it because
yeah.
it's one of the big mecha shows, you know.
Hmm.
And I'm not big on mecha, just kind of in general. It's not a genre that I typically gravitate towards. Um for no particular reason, honestly. Like I'm sure there's great stuff there, but it's just not something that I've explored too much, despite the fact that I like building Gunpla. But that's just like I like building the little robots. They're cool, you know?
Yeah.
But yeah, so there was one other thing that I wanted to mention about this show, a negative that might impact a modern viewer's enjoyment of this show a little bit, and that's that there's one character that they meet who's like a pretty negative queer stereotype.
Ooh.
Um,
Yeah.
it's it was a pretty common stereotype in like the late 90s and early 2000s in anime for a queer character to be like always hitting on people who don't want to be hit on, you
Okay.
know.
Yeah.
um
Just
so
it's
it's
a
a lot
trope,
of that.
right? Like a tropey
What?
thing. It's like a tropey
Yeah,
thing. Yeah. Yeah.
it's very much a trope. um I will say the good thing is that that only really happens in a couple of episodes, and then it's kind of ignored. And also that character is like one of the most important characters to the story, so it's not like they're just the butt of a joke the entire time.
That's
Like
good.
they're
Yeah.
actually an important character, and so that's good. Like it's not entirely a negative stereotype, but it is there, and it is something that people should be aware of if that's potentially something that could be off-putting to them.
Yeah, I get that. It's like that game. I keep referencing games, but that's just where my brain goes. Persona 5, or Persona 4, I think has like some like negative trans jokes in there or something, and I'm like, do I want to play that game? Probably not, just because like it would bother me. That doesn't sound too bad in comparison, though. What you're talking about there, so.
No, I don't think it's too bad. But I'm also like I'm not queer, like I'm straight, I'm not LGBT, but like, my friends are, I have family that are, so I'm gonna fucking mention it if it's something that should be mentioned,
Yeah, exactly.
But other than that, it's really fun. I don't think it's gonna rank among like my favorites of all time, but I had a really good time watching it. So another thing is that I thought I had never seen it before, but after watching the first episode, I think what I ended up doing was I had watched like, I don't know, like 10 years ago or something. I had watched the first 2 or 3 episodes or something like that, and then fell off of it for whatever
Okay.
reason. Um, and then completely forgot that I watched those episodes back in the day. So I was like, I've never seen this before. And then I'm watching it, and I'm like, I have seen this before. Until I got past the first couple of episodes, and I was like, oh, I don't remember any of this now. So yeah, it's fun. It's worth watching. Um, the mechs are really, really cool. And right after, or yeah, at the end of this month, or maybe the end of next month, it's like the 10th or 15th anniversary of this show coming out, and Bandai is releasing a couple of the mechs as Gunpla. So I'm like,
Oh,
all right,
awesome.
well, I guess I'm gonna buy that. So
Yeah,
I'll have some of those in my house pretty soon.
that's cool. Just looking at some of like the animation as you're talking, I really like the look of it. Like you said, it does remind me of Fully Cooley a lot in that respect.
Oh yeah,
It has a really cool and very striking look to it. Definitely an interesting show.
yeah. It's hyper stylized. It's fun. It's worth checking out. At least watch a couple episodes of it.
Nice. All right. Well, I watched just a little more modern, a little bit. I feel like I watch a lot of modern stuff in general, but we
I
caught.
don't.
Yeah, so it's kind of we get both sides of the spectrum there, I guess. So we just watched and finished up Gen V season 2. Do you
Okay.
know much about The Boys and Gen V, like the shows?
No.
Okay.
No.
So the basic premise of The Boys is it's basically a group of the boys that don't have superpowers, and there's like evil. Basically, if superheroes were real, they're going to be evil, and they're going to be a big corporation, and that's kind of like the setup for it. So the boys show, there's like the guy named Homelander. He's like the big bad. He's basically
Yeah.
Superman if he was real in real life. If he was like our administration now, that type of energy.
Yeah.
As a superhero with quotes. And
Yeah.
then
Red Sun Superman, or
basically,
like
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. So that's all going on, and then they came out with Gen V, which is basically that same universe, but they're X-Men of that universe. So it's like it's called Godolkin High, and it's all the soups are there, and then they're kind of just learning how to be superheroes, and of course they have regular classes too, but mostly it's like they're trying to train these superheroes to be heroes for the world, and be part of this corporation that is taking over the Vought is the big corporation. So that's kind of the setting of this. This is the second season of it. It's the final season apparently, and it does tie into the storyline of The Boys as well. And I just thought it was really good. They did kind of like there was a new character introduced. You don't know who he is or what his motivations are, even what his powers are. He's kind of like the new dean to the school, and throughout the whole series, that's revealed. And I found it to be very entertaining, and like it had the finale of this show was actually very well done, and it was like, what's going to happen next? Who's going to die? Because this is one of those shows, it's like Game of Thrones, any of those shows where it's like anybody can die at any point. It doesn't matter.
Right.
They're not precious about their characters. If that character's going to die, they're going to explode in a mass of blood. Who cares, So you're like sitting there, who's gonna die, what's gonna happen, and you start to really kind of bond with these characters and this group that gets formed throughout the school. So really well done season. I think this is one of the better like superhero like media that's out there. Is the voice in this together? So
Wait. I watched another anime called Ranma Half. Have you ever heard of this?
I have not heard of this one.
Okay. It would not surprise me if you had, because Ranma was written back in like the 80s, late
Mm-hmm.
80s or early 90s. So there, it was originally animated back in the 90s, and I never watched that anime, but I did read some of the manga back when I was like a teenager. Um, at some point in time, I read some of the manga, and Netflix has a reanimation of this.
Mm-hmm.
So it's really nice looking, actually. And the second season is currently ongoing, and it was something that I always meant to like get back into because I really enjoyed what I read. But then just like it was one of those manga where like I found a couple of volumes of it and then couldn't find more because like online ordering wasn't a thing that I did very often in like 2003, 2004, 2005, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Um, Otherwise, I probably would have been able to find it much easier. But like Barnes and Noble did not have volumes of this manga because it was old. It wasn't the new shit that was being printed at the time. You know,
Right.
it wasn't One Piece. It wasn't Full Metal. It wasn't whatever else was going on at that point in time. So anyway, the whole premise of Ranma is that him and his father are like these martial artists, and they went to China to train in this place where there are 1,000 pools of water and each one of them are cursed. So
Mm-hmm.
if somebody falls into one of these cursed pools of water, they transform into something else. Ranma's father fell into a pool of water where he transformed into a bear, and Ranma fell into a pool of water where he transforms into a girl. So now, anytime Ranma gets wet with cold water, he transforms into a girl, and whenever he's in his girl form and gets splashed with hot water, he transforms back into a boy.
Okay.
And that's kind of the main premise of this show. Ranma is has been put into this arranged marriage with this other family,
Mm-hmm.
who is also this family of martial artists, and uh, comedy ensues
Right.
from there. This is a really funny show, like
It's
like
like
laugh
it's
out loud fun.
the main character's bi gender, legitimately,
Yeah.
right? Yeah, that's
Yes.
cool. Yeah. So is it kind of like one of those things where he's kind of living a double life then? So he's like, okay, this is the arranged marriage part of my life, and then if I become a boy or a girl, is it the boy is arranged marriage or the girl side?
The boy.
The boy side. So then he can become a girl and do other things, like has like a bee life basically, or does she
No.
know?
It.
Or
Yes. She
oh,
knows.
okay.
And she's actually kind of okay with it. Like there's this whole will they won't they, because like they don't want to be in this arranged marriage. It was arranged by their parents and they're
Mm-hmm.
16. Um so they don't really want to be in this arranged marriage, but she's like, "Well, I don't really like boys."
Okay.
So she's also kind of okay with Ranma being this way, and Ranma doesn't like it. So like, and he also doesn't care that like about like social norms about when he's in his female form. So he'll just be like
Mm-hmm.
walking around the house without a shirt on because that's what he would normally do when he's not a girl.
Right.
But you know that's kind of
Frowned
an
upon.
unspoken thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um and then like a lot of the comedy comes from like he doesn't want that secret to get out outside of like their two families.
Mm-hmm.
So they'll be at school and accidentally get splashed with water, and now he has to hide and run away and get into fights with people while and like nobody knows that he is this girl and the guy at the same time, except for yeah, it's him trying to hide his identity.
Yeah,
It's
it's kind of like a sitcom then with like this unique spin on it, pretty much.
yeah, a little bit.
Yeah.
Um, and then there's like a bunch of other characters get introduced that like are all trying to fight Ranma for one reason or another, because it is they are martial artists at the end of the day. So it's a little, it's not quite, it's not shonen in the sense that like anybody's powering up, but it is, there is a lot of fighting that happens also. It's fun. It's just a fun time, man. I'm having a good time watching it.
Yeah, the art style is very striking and like colorful and like hits you in the face.
Hmm.
I think that it just looking at some of the images here, it does read as a comedy. Even not even watching it, I could tell that it has some good humor in it. So,
Yeah,
awesome.
it's funny, worth watching, 100%.
Well, speaking of worth watching, I've been watching Over the Garden Wall. Have you heard of Over the Garden Wall? This
I
cartoon from
have
Cartoon Network.
I have not.
Okay, so this one is one that I've been seeing come up. It's like okay, so it got made. I think I don't know about the year on this, but a few years ago, and it's kind of one of those ones that got canceled before it became a full series. But people love
Mhm.
the original season, the first season that came out, and it kind of is like a mini series that kind of lives on in infamy as like people watch it every fall. Like it's a very autumnal, like it's very like cozy feeling. It's basically there's these two kids, Wirt and Greg. They get lost in this thing called the unknown. It's like this very mysterious woods, and they're just trying to get home. But basically, that's the main premise. Along the way, they meet a bunch of crazy and kooky characters. They have a bird named Beatrice that can talk, that like follows them around. They meet a guy in the woods that's really creepy and old, and it's the voiced by Christopher Lloyd, which is always awesome. And then
Yep.
it's just when you see this show in motion, it's just cozy. Like all the backgrounds are hand painted. It's very looks like autumn. You know, all the leaves are falling and everything. And then the humor is really well done. It's just it has that Cartoon Network, like, you know, this era Cartoon Network humor. I don't know how much you've watched, but it's like of that style of humor, but it's like a little bit slapsticky, a little bit wacky, a little bit out there,
Mhm.
kind of like Adventure Time a little bit here and there. But it has its own flavor and feel, and it's just
I watched more Gumball than Adventure
Gumball.
Time.
I would say it's not quite as like silly and like kooky as Gumball
Gumball's
is.
very silly.
Yeah, it's not quite to that level, but the humor in it is really well done. It's you're gonna be laughing at a lot of scenes, but it's just a nice thing. It has great music and it just looks nice and it just feels like fall, and it's just a really cozy show to kind of curl up and watch. It's very short. I think it's
Mhm.
only like 8 episodes or something, and they're all like 11 minutes or something. So it's like you can watch it in like 3 hours and you're done, and it's just really well done and really fun to watch. So solid show.
Perfect.
Yeah, and it's the first time I've seen it. It's one of those ones that pops up every year, and I'm like, I need to get to that, and we finally watched it this year. So good times.
Nice. Um, that's it for TV. We're gonna move on to
Mm-hmm.
talking about some movies. I'm gonna stick with the anime before getting into all of the horror that I've been watching.
Okay.
We finally sat down and watched The Boy and the Heron, which is the movie from 2023, Studio Ghibli, Miyazaki's latest film.
Yeah. How'd you like it? I
Uh,
haven't seen it yet. I have been wanting to watch it.
it's so fucking boring, man.
Oh damn, bummer.
Yeah, like I'm a huge Studio Ghibli fan, right? Like
Yeah.
Castle in the Sky is one of my favorite movies of all time. Like I even like Earthsea. I think Earthsea is so weird and interesting, but I
I
also
like.
like the world of Earthsea, so
Mm-hmm.
that probably helps. For me personally, I know a lot of people find that movie very boring. Even and that was not, I don't think that one was done by Miyazaki. I think that was done by one of the other guys. I don't remember off the top of my head. But
Mm-hmm.
like Kiki's Delivery Service and Howl's Moving Castle and Totoro and Ponyo. Like I love Studio Ghibli, and this movie looks great. It's just dull, is the way that I would put it.
Yeah,
It's just dull. It was not very enjoyable for us to watch, and
that
about an
sucks.
hour into it, I started falling asleep on the couch, and I was just like, "This is boring." And my girlfriend's like, "Oh no, we should stay up and continue watching it." I ended up falling asleep. She stayed up and continued to watch it for another hour and a half because it's like a 2.5 hour long movie. And then the next morning, she's like, "You're right. It was not worth staying up for the rest of that." I was like, "I told you." Yeah. I did
That's a
get
bummer
around to
though.
watching. Yeah, I don't want to hate movies, you know.
Yeah.
Um,
Especially a Ghibli movie. Like you want to love it. Like Ghibli movies are all timers, right? Like you want to love them,
right.
So it kind of sucks when there's not one that's like, it's not Totoro or something. Not that's something you can be like, I need to watch this again and again. So that sucks.
Yeah. Yeah. It sucks. Like it is really beautiful. It looks nice, but yeah, it's boring. It's I would say don't watch it. It's
Okay.
probably not worth your time.
Is it kind of one of those things where they're more focused on the animation and like the way it looks more than the story, or is the story like worth it? I really know much about it. I just saw like a trailer at some point.
So the story is extremely hard to follow, and if you read about it online, people will say that it's like about the seven stages of grief, and that it's like it's supposed to be Miyazaki like processing his grief for Tadahana. Tadaka, what was that guy's name? The other guy that was directing at Studio Ghibli that died.
I think it's Tadahana. I think you're right.
Tadahana.
Yeah.
He died back in like early 2020 or something like that. So it's supposed to be like Miyazaki processing his grief through this movie, and like that's how people are interpreting it. And it's like, well, that's fine, but it's doesn't make the movie any less boring to watch.
Yeah, that's fair. Damn. Well, do you
But I
want
mean, hey,
to? Yep. Go ahead.
uh, some people seem to like it online, so don't necessarily take my word for it. You know?
Yeah, so it's might be one of those ones where you love it or you hate it. Maybe I don't know. I
Yeah.
haven't seen it myself, so you could go ahead and throw another one out here because your list is a little longer if you like.
Yeah, let's talk about a weird movie that I never hear anybody talking about. Maybe for good reason, maybe not. I'm not exactly sure. It's called An American Haunting. Um, this is a like ghost horror movie from the mid 2000s, maybe 2010, something like that. I don't have the stats in front of me. Um, so I wasn't expecting to talk about another one.
2006. That's when it came out.
Okay, so this takes place in like the early 1800s or maybe mid 1800s or something like that, somewhere in like I don't want to not quite colonial times, but definitely not modern era. It's essentially about this girl being haunted by a ghost, and no one believes that she's being haunted by this ghost, or at least most people don't believe that she's being haunted by this ghost, even when like they see things happening to her, like being lifted up into the air, like without anybody else around. Uh, and like part of the story has to do with like her father has been like shunned from the community because of a deal he made with this woman, and everybody thinks that that woman is a witch. So there's like some weird stuff going on there with that. What it turns out to be is that I think what the movie is trying to get across. I'm going into spoilers on this. I don't give a shit.
You're fine.
Um, I think what the movie is trying to say with its ending is that the haunting is actually being caused because her father is sexually assaulting her,
Okay.
and the haunting is like a personification of that.
Okay. Makes sense.
Um I don't think that message is executed very well
Hmm.
in this movie.
So it's kind of one of those. It's like they want you to read between the lines, and it's kind of like you're squinting between the lines, and you're like, maybe, or something like
No,
that.
they kind of they do kind of hammer that point home with
Okay.
like the actual true ending. I think the problem is that like why would her father and other people in the family be in the same room while she's being like physically assaulted by a ghost?
Mhm.
And why are other people in the house? Because there is an entity that is assaulting people in this house, not just the girl. Like other people, like a priest gets thrown around in the house, and like other people from the community are in the house when things happen and like get attacked by a spirit, by a ghost. So it kind of makes this disconnect between the ghost haunting and then like the actual horror of like what's actually happening to this girl.
Okay.
Um I think it could have been better. But I also don't think the movie's bad. Like it's an entertaining movie when she's being haunted and thrown around and attacked by a ghost.
Nice. All right. Well, honestly, it sounds pretty solid. That sounds like a movie that I'd be scrolling through like Amazon Prime and see it. Just be like, yeah, let's watch this. Click. You know what I mean? Or something like that.
Yeah, so it's one of the things that I like to do is that like we'll go to like thrift stores and antique malls and consignment shops and stuff, and I always look
Mhm.
around for DVDs. This is one of those that I found at a shop for like $1, and I was like, okay, I'll pick this up. Why
Yeah.
not? You
Why
know?
not? The cover looks interesting. It's probably worth
Yep.
the watch. It's worth $1, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll say most movies are worth $1 to just pick up and watch, even if you just watch them once and then turn around and sell them back to a DVD store and get 50 cents for them in credit. Like, who cares?
Yeah.
You know?
Exactly. Yeah. All right. I will follow up a couple of. I'll do two since I threw a curveball at you. I didn't mean to.
Oh,
So
that's fine.
I'll do some follow-ups from last episode. So I told you last episode I watched Happy Death Day 1. So we went ahead and watched Happy Death Day 2 because I got like a 2-pack deal. I think this movie is way more sci-fi than the first one, which the first one is, it's a time loop. You die when you get killed by the killer. This one is she survives the first movie, figures out what's happening, and there's another person that happens to that is one of her like acquaintances that she meets in the first movie, and then she ends up getting killed by the killer too, trying to save that guy, and starts to loop over. And it ends up being more of a multiverse thing because every time they die, they find out there's a multiverse type of situation going on. So they have to basically get the timeline all down to one timeline again by solving this murder. And when they think they solve it, they didn't really do it because the loop's different this time. Why is it different? Okay, so it ends up being kind of more sci-fi comedy more than a horror movie in this sequel. But it's a lot like Back to the Future 1, where it's like Back to the Future 1 had a great premise, it's very simple, easy to understand. The second one kind of jumps the ship a little bit and gets a little bit more convoluted and kind of out there. This one does the same thing as that. So, or Hot Tub Time Machine 2, if you've ever seen that. Same idea. I don't know if you ever
I
seen
have not
this movie.
seen that.
Those movies are corny, but they're fun. But this one,
I've not seen the second one. I have seen the first one.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, 2008, I'm a fucking teenager. I'm 18. Of course I saw Hot Tub Time Machine.
Yeah. But anyway, just like any time loop movie, if they do a follow-up, they will kind of like jump the shark a little bit and just kind of make it as zany and crazy as they possibly can. And that's what this one does. So it's a lot of fun. I think the first one lives by itself, and I think it's way better. I seen the second one in theaters, and I thought it was really good in theaters, but I hadn't seen it since then. Rewatching it now, I'm like, it's fine. Like, I liked it more when I first watched it. Sometimes you kind of like watch a movie, you're like, man, that was really good. And then you have like this fond memory for it. And then you go back to it and you're kind of like, it was okay. It was fine. So that's how I felt about that sequel. And then we also watched the first 7 Saw movies. And I know you watched them last month. So, or at least some of the Saw
watched
movies.
1 through 5.
1 through 5.
I did not watch 6 or 7.
You don't need to watch those.
No,
yeah.
You really don't need to watch any of them, honestly. Like, they're okay slashers at best.
I think for Saw movies, the 1 through 3, and you're good. Like, the second one's okay. I think 3 is actually really solid. And then after that, they take that same month of Jigsaw's life and just add new elements to it. And basically every movie past 3 is almost a clip show of 3. If like they have to like show the story again. So like you're watching it and you're like, there's probably like 50 minutes of original content in this hour and 30-minute movie. You know what I mean? There's 40 minutes of clips from the other movies just so you have context for what's going on. And it starts to be,
and there's some good deaths.
Yeah, there
like
is.
there are some cool machines and stuff like that, but it does get to that point where it's like, okay, so Jigsaw has like 18 puzzles going on all at the same time. How is he doing all of these literally at the same time?
And then you find out, oh, he has another accomplice. Oh, there's another accomplice. And then when I guess spoilers, who cares? Jigsaw dies in like 3 or 4, like one of those, and then like
Mhm.
he has cancer. Obviously, that's the whole thing. He dies. In the guy that follows up and starts doing the killings and stuff, Mark. He's just like the most uninteresting character. Like he's like
Yep.
Jigsaw 2. He's just like the most boring, bland character. And then there's like this other like CSI type guy who's our CIA whatever type guy that looks almost identical to him. Like the actors,
Yep.
I kept mixing them up. I'm like, wait, is that the bad guy or is that the FBI CIA guy? I don't know. You know?
I felt the exact same way. You can once they get like a little bit of blood splatter and like some grease and grime and dirt on them, they look
Right.
the same. You cannot tell them apart.
Yeah. And I was just like, okay. And that guy ends up dying too, in like a really like brutal way. But anyway, the series is fine. Like you said, I really enjoy watching it for what it is, but
Mhm.
I can't recommend anything past 3 really. Or if you want to, so if you watch 1 through 3 and you want to get like a taste of like that style, watch the newest one, X or 10.
Mhm.
That's kind of has the same flavor, but it does the same thing where it's like, oh, there's this other thing happening on the side, like, yeah. So, and then they have that early 2000s, like late aughts, I guess, like theme song that always plays. It's very corny and it has like the 12 frame per second slow mo all the time and like the
Mhm.
flashing and like the old school title cards and stuff. It feels like the era, and there's always some type of like uh new metal type music pumping in the background as these traps are going off. So it's of the era.
Yeah.
If you want to feel like a time and place, it's worth it for that. But they're just all like 3 out of 5 movies. Like solid movies, but nothing too crazy. Yeah,
That's exactly what I rated them all on Letterboxd. Every single one of the Saw movies I watched, 3 out of 5.
yeah, because it's like you know what they are. They're not going to blow your hair back. You're going to have fun seeing what the traps are. They're going to be ridiculous. There's going to be a lot of excessive gore just because they can do it, and that's
Yep.
the series. So yeah. Go ahead.
Did you watch James Wan's movie that he did right after the Saw movies called oh fuck.
You
The
might.
Dead Silence. The one
I
with the
haven't seen that.
puppet.
Nuh-uh.
Oh dude, I really like that movie. It's so stupid, but it's really fun.
Does it have a similar like? This is a little like Saw. Like it's a little stupid, but like it's worth watching
Yeah,
regardless. Yeah. Okay. Gotcha.
absolutely. I like it more than Saw though.
Okay. I will actually add that to the list here to watch because we're we're always looking for some like kind of B horror movies to watch. Like why not? It's a good time. So
It's very dumb. I love it so much.
yeah. All right.
All right. I watched a few movies out of Korea. The first one that I watched is called Phone, and this from 2002, and this is straight from the era of The Grudge and The Ring. Um, because so the Grudge, the first Grudge movie or the first Ju-on
Mm-hmm.
was 1998 and Ringu was like 2000. So this is following right in that same era. Just Korea instead of Japan. It was like their take on it. So it's a little bit more dramatic than I think either of those movies are, because Korea always has a, I'm not gonna say always, but generally a lot of their movies have a flair for the dramatic in some interesting ways. Uh, this is about a haunted phone call.
Okay.
It
So it's very similar. Okay. Gotcha.
it's it's very similar. If you've seen The Ring,
Yeah.
you basically know what's gonna
Gonna
happen.
die in
This
7 days. Yeah.
Yeah, so the main character is like this investigative journalist, and she just exposed like this group of CEOs or like prominent business people who are all part of this pedophile ring. So she's having to like go into hiding because she's getting death threats and things like that, because people, those, you know, powerful in quotes,
Mm-hmm.
uh, don't like the fact that they've been exposed uh, for their crimes. So she feels like she's being stalked, but what she's actually being stalked by is the ghost of a girl.
Okay. Yeah.
But there is actually an interesting twist to this one, in that like the reason that she's being stalked is because of the phone number that she has, and it's the same phone number as this girl. And that girl is, you know, we're gonna get into spoilers for all these movies, so fucking
You're good.
be prepared. um the girl is haunting her because uh essentially the girl was killed by this woman that's being haunted, her best friend, because that woman's husband was sleeping with this high school girl.
Mm-hmm.
And then his wife found out, killed the girl, bricked her up in a wall, but inside that wall was a phone line, so she was able to communicate through that phone line.
Mm-hmm.
And uh yeah, it's a weird plot that doesn't make a whole lot of sense, but it's a ghost movie. And she's being
Sounds good.
haunted by a phone call. Uh yeah, I mean, it was fine.
Yep.
What do you want from me? It was fine. Uh I there was another movie that I watched also from Korea called R Point. This was in 2004, and this movie felt a lot like Predator, in that there's this group of soldiers and they go into Vietnam and they're trying to capture this. There's like some kind of conflict going on in Vietnam. I don't know enough about like geopolitics of the time to know if there was actually conflict going on in Vietnam in the mid 2000s. I don't know. Maybe it's set at an earlier point in time, but it seemed fairly modern. At least, or not like modern, but
Yeah,
like
like
it seemed
2005.
2000s.
Yeah,
Yeah,
or
it
whatever. Yeah.
seemed 2000s enough. Um, and so this group of soldiers goes to this point, and they're trying to, uh, they all start getting killed off. Essentially, one by one, they're getting picked off, and nobody can leave. Anytime they try and leave this building that they found at this point, um, they end up like the land like twists around and makes them circle back around to where they were before. So like they are literally trapped here and they're being hunted by the ghosts of dead soldiers. And that's the movie. It was good. I enjoyed this one. This was actually really fun. I always enjoy a horror movie where like the protagonists have guns, but they're still being scared because like the guns can't help them.
Right. Does it have like kind of like cool kills and stuff? Like, is it like just fun to see how they like inventive ways they like get? Is there a okay? My question is there a monster you see, or is it kind of like is there like a predator? You know, or is it kind of more like
There
a oh,
there
what's
is
going
not
on?
a there's not a predator per se. They are literally being hunted by like the ghosts of dead soldiers.
Okay,
So
so it's just more like
uh
a ghost, like creepy
yeah.
ghost type thing. Gotcha.
So the fun part is there's like this whole mystery that you don't realize um until the end. Like it's this group of I think 10 soldiers at the beginning, and like right when they get into Vietnam, there's suddenly an 11th soldier, but nobody in the squad realizes there's this extra guy, and you don't realize as the viewer that there's this extra guy, but that guy is the ghost that is like controlling all the other ghosts that's killing all the soldiers.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
I thought that was a really creative way. So like he's there interacting with people as though he were one of the squad, you know, and nobody realized that he wasn't, just because for whatever reason. Um,
Nice.
yeah, it was fun. This is a very interesting movie that I don't think enough people know about.
I hadn't heard of it. It looks pretty cool though. It really does.
Yeah.
It has that that like yellowish greenish like like the Predator tint to it. I can tell just by looking at it. That's cool.
Yeah, good
All
times.
Right. Yeah, so it's keeping on the horror. I think most of the everything else that we have is horror, isn't it, for the most part?
Oh yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
I watched for the first time ever. I watched the 28 Days Later series. We started with 28 Days Later first. Obviously, people probably know what 28 Days Later is. You know, the rage virus. It's set in London. You know, that area, UK. Very well done movie. Very creepy. Very like visceral. It's one of the honestly, it's probably one of the best zombie movies I've ever seen. Like it's very.
Yeah, it's a good one.
It really increases the tension. Like you start off, you're kind of creeped out. By the time you're at the last scene of the movie, it's like very tense. Like you're not sure if they're gonna get out of this. You know, it's very well done. And then we watched 28 Weeks Later, a little while later, a couple days later, and I like that one almost as much. I think you can tell they got a big budget studio behind it. I really can tell the difference in just like the quality, and I don't know if that helped at all. I think the first one felt like kind of a little more low budget and kind of a little more scrappy than Weeks did. But I still liked the movie probably about as much, even though I didn't love some of the way it looked and things. And of course they have like popular actors in it, like Jeremy Renner and stuff. So,
popular actors like Jeremy Renner.
No, he's in Avengers. He's the worst Avenger, right? He's Hawkeye, but he's in there, you know. So
he's the most boring guy. He's been in so much stuff.
I know.
And people will be like, "Oh, do you remember Jeremy Renner was in that movie?" And I'm like, "Was he? Was he though?"
He was. I feel like I watched a movie with him recently.
Look, he's a fucking millionaire. He can afford to have me fucking say that he's a little boring. He's a handsome man, but he's a little boring.
Yeah, that's fair. You know what's funny is I was like, what was that movie with Jeremy Renner? And it was the new Captain America, Anthony Mackie. It was an Anthony Mackie movie, and maybe he's a little boring too. Maybe they're kind of analogous there. But anyway, so this one is obviously it's 20 weeks later, so it's after they're kind of like contained the rage virus, and they're trying to do some reconstruction, and there's an outbreak that happens in this area, and it's basically him trying to save this kid and this mom, and it's a pretty good movie. I was thoroughly entertained by it, and I think it's the same director team for all these movies. I'm pretty sure same director and same like production team. I'm not 100% on that, but
that sounds right. I've only ever seen the first one, honestly.
Okay. I say that it's worth watching the full series. I think this, like, of course, like whenever a movie pops off and like gets popular like that, they're gonna have the big budget Hollywood feel. You can just feel it when you see the other two. It's not gonna have that same like scrappy independent feeling that first one does. But that doesn't make them bad movies. You can just tell they have a bigger budget. I will say the CG in Weeks, they have some CG gore and stuff that does not look good nowadays, because this movie's about 20 years old. And then the newest one, which just came out I think last year or the year before, I liked it quite a bit. It gets really weirdly campy at the end. Do you care if I spoil like the last part of this movie? Because I was like,
no, I don't give a shit.
Okay, so the premise of this movie is it's 28 years later, right? So this area that this outbreak of the rage virus has been quarantined this whole time. So people have been living in this civilization for 28 years. And the rest of the world's continued on. Like United States, Canada, everybody, Australia, everybody else has kind of just moved on. So when there's people that visit this area, they have iPhones, like it's like modern day stuff, and they have modern day tech. But in this area, it's like the 90s basically, or late 2000s. So I thought that was kind of an interesting premise. Like the world moved on and this civilization kind of stayed the same, trying to live and survive off the land.
Yeah, just trapped in time.
Yeah, trapped in time. It's a pretty cool premise. Of course, the rage virus is still prevalent, but it's not as common. And they have kind of like Last of Us, where they send, like Last of Us has like an encampment. and they do like rounds to like kill off any like straggling zombies and stuff. They do that in this. And then of course there's a big outbreak that happens, and then they all get swarmed, the village and all that stuff happens. But at the end of the movie, out of nowhere, there are like these like cartoony ninja people in like tracksuits that appear and like start hacking up these zombies with katanas and stuff. And it just comes out of nowhere. Like the whole movie is like the super serious zombie movie. You're like, okay, it's not bad. It has the same feel as 28 Weeks did, but modern day production value and stuff, modern day actors and things like that. And then just out of nowhere, you're like, there's like guitar music kicks in, and then this person with a tracksuit and a katana starts hacking up zombies, and then like 10 other people come in with that same tracksuit on and start just beating the shit out of zombies, and then the movie just ends. And you're like, okay, what was that? It just like comes out of nowhere. What I found out is they filmed these movies back to back, so there's a sequel coming out to this one, like in January, I think, or February, like pretty soon. So that's supposed to lead into the next movie. So it'll probably make more sense when I watch that movie, but it just comes out of nowhere and the movie just ends, and I'm like, okay. Right. And it's just very corny and campy. It feels a little, I'll say it felt a little John Carpenter, where it's like, this might not work 100%, but it does work kind of in the movie, in the setting. Yeah. So it was interesting, but all in all, I like the series quite a bit. I would recommend it I like them all about the same for different reasons. I'd say like the first one, I liked it because it's like an independent feeling movie. Second, I liked it just because I feel like it kind of has that war feeling of zombies. And then the new one's more like a modern day take with like trying to survive with like more of like a harsh civilization and stuff. I just like they kind of have different genres within themselves, which I think is pretty cool.
Interesting. I'm gonna have to check this out. What are they gonna call the next one? Because they're not gonna call it 28 Decades.
No, it's called 28 Years Later, The Bone Peddler. So there's like this character in 28 Years Later, like that has been collecting bones, like skulls and stuff. And this movie is kind of like about like mourning and like loss and like trying to come back from that. So he has literal skull mountains and pillars on the top of this mountain. It's just a really cool visual, and I think it's about that character, that shaman like character. So it seems pretty cool. So it has its own mythology to it at this point, which I think them building that is really interesting, and I hope the next one is as good, because like these are all solid movies. Like I don't think any of them are like lesser than. I would say the whole series is really good.
Okay, cool. I continued to watch some more foreign stuff. I watched a movie out of Thailand, which I don't think I've ever seen another movie out of Thailand. Like, it's not something that I specifically have sought out, but I found this one. It's called Dorm. And it's about this kid who, his father puts him in a boarding school, and the boarding school is haunted. Who would have thought? But he is like this weird loner, and he ends up befriending the ghost, and it almost becomes like Casper, where he's like hanging out with the ghost instead of hanging out with other boys in the school, and is trying to help the ghost to move on. So it starts as like an actually pretty creepy horror movie, and then turns into like this weird like childhood buddy film.
That's cool though. I like it.
Yeah, it's very strange.
I was gonna say, I'm watching the trailer. It just looks like a horror movie, but I'm sure it takes that turn, like you said. So
yeah, it takes that turn like an hour and a half in. This is almost a 3-hour long movie. Like, it's long.
Oh wow.
It was really good though. All the horror stuff is really well done. Like there's like this scene really early on where he like wakes up in the middle of the night, and he has to go to the bathroom. So he goes to the bathroom, and like, the lights won't turn on, and it's dark, and he has a flashlight, and he goes into a stall, and like the stall door gets closed on him, and he gets locked into this stall for a couple of hours. He's like banging on the door, nobody's coming to help him, and like it's really tense and scary, you know. So like stuff like that happens, and like he keeps getting haunted, but then he finds out that like who he's being haunted by is this other little boy who like drowned at the school accidentally, and there's like one of the teachers like feels like she is to blame for his death, and so part of it is like part of the story is like her coming to terms with the fact that she's not the one to blame for his death, like his drowning was an accident, and part of the story is also like this boy coming to terms with being at a boarding school, because like in American media, going to a boarding school is like a punishment, you know,
Right.
but in a lot of other countries, going to a boarding school is like a privilege because it's going to be a better education than whatever the public education system is at whatever village they're in, you know. Especially in a country like Thailand that's fairly impoverished and not a wealthy country at all.
Right.
So yeah, this one was interesting. I really like this movie. I'll definitely watch it again.
Nice.
Probably not anytime soon, but I'll definitely put this one on again.
That's nice to hear from a longer horror movie, because a lot of times with horror you want to keep it like at the hour 30 to hour 20, you know, like in and out really quick. Hearing that an almost 3-hour movie, you know, horror movie actually kept your attention and you want to watch it again, that is a good sign in my book.
Yeah, it might be closer to like 2.5, but
still that's long.
It was long. Yeah,
that's long.
It's still
movie.
long. Yeah. And then I watched Marebito, I believe is how it's pronounced. This is a movie from Japan, and this is from the same guy that directed The Grudge. Excuse me, sorry.
You're good.
Either directed The Grudge or directed Ringu. I don't remember which. And unfortunately, this movie kind of sucks. I did not like this one.
Oh.
It's about this guy who is like, he's like a independent crime scene filmographer. So he goes around and like takes video of like things happening in the city and then sells them to news stations, or just gets hired on as like an independent contractor to film for somebody for a short period of time for a single project, and then goes on. So he's working for himself, and he finds that there's like this whole underground, like beneath the sewer systems, like a whole underground city beneath Tokyo. And he finds this girl down there who's like chained up to a wall, and he takes her back to the surface. And it turns out that I think she's supposed to be a vampire because she drinks blood. Like, she won't eat human food. She only wants to drink blood. So he starts killing people for her. But it takes like 3/4 of the runtime for him to start killing people for her. And even then, the killings aren't interesting. And the first half of the movie is basically him just walking through tunnels. It's like Journey to the Center of the Earth if it was boring.
Okay.
And then like he's getting phone calls from these people, and they're telling him like, you can't keep her. And he's like, but how do you know that I have her? And they're just like, well, we know. And then you never find out what the fuck that's all about. Yeah, I didn't like this one. Did not like it.
That's always unfortunate. I did look it up. The director directed Ju-on and The Grudge. Yeah, so that's the same director. That always sucks though, when you have a high expectations for something and you watch it and you're like, that was okay. Yeah. So
yeah.
All right. I have a newer movie. Surprise! It's called Vicious. It has Dakota Fanning in it as the main character. This movie is from this year. It just came out in September. It's brand new. So the premise of this movie, I just have it in front of me so I don't forget, is there's this mysterious box. So this old lady knocks on her door. There's this mysterious box. She says, "I'm sorry I'm doing this to you. You know, like you don't know what it is. And she's like, what do you mean? I don't want that box. And she's like, nope, take the box, whatever. She's like, this lady's crazy. You need to get out of my house. She kind of forces her out of the house. She takes the box, puts it outside on her porch, and then she goes inside, and on the table, of course, is the box sitting there. You know,
Right.
What she finds out is when she opens it up, you have to put something that you need, something that you hate, and something that you love inside of the box. So it starts to become this psychological, like, of course, she thinks the box is fake at first, so she goes and puts it in the road. Of course, she goes back inside, still inside. So a lot of that, no matter what she does, she can't get rid of this box. She starts to realize that it could possibly kill her or her family if she doesn't comply with this box. So there's a whole scene where the box is calling her on the phone and telling her, hey, you need to cut off something you need. Maybe cut off your toe. And it's like kind of like haunted feeling. And so she cuts off her toe, and then it laughs, and the toe doesn't go away, and she realized she had to cut her finger off. And it's kind of one of these movies where you don't know what's happening, and a lot of crazy things happen around her inside of her home. I will say the plot of this movie doesn't really make a lot of sense. You're like, okay, but I found it to be kind of like one of those things where it's more visual and like creepy and just kind of like leaves you with that kind of gross feeling when you're watching it. You know, it's kind of one of those that has a really good atmosphere to it. And Dakota Fanning, she smokes like 3 cartons of cigarettes in this movie. She's like constantly smoking. So that's why I kept telling my partner Star, I was like, she's still smoking. She just keeps smoking. She's so stressed. But anyway, movie is actually really well done. I think it's really very well shot, very, very well directed. It's just one of those ones where you're creeped out and you're kind of weirded out by the whole, like, this whole situation. And she tries to pass the box off onto somebody else. That's the whole point. You're supposed to fulfill these 3 things and pass the box off to somebody else. So hijinks ensue, I guess. I really like the movie from a visual standpoint, but if you sit down and you think about the storyline, it really doesn't make any sense. But visually and like atmosphere and the feeling of it and the acting in it were so good that I think it's worth a watch.
Okay. I heard that movie was good.
Yeah. So it's like a lot of those like cursed or like kind of paranormal movies where like in her head she sees something in the mirror and like she turns away from the mirror and the mirror's still looking at her, like the image, and there's something about a mirror dimension or a mirror world that's kind of like inside, that's like part of this. Basically it's like a portal to a mirror world inside the box or something like that. It's kind of left open to interpretation, but it doesn't really matter. Like the story doesn't matter too much because the way it's acted and the way it's directed and the way everything's shot, very unique looking and everything. It just leaves you with that horror, like I can't get, something's under my skin when I'm watching this movie. You know, leaves you with that feeling. So it's really good.
Interesting. All right. Yeah, I'm gonna check that one out sometime for sure.
Yeah, that one's on Netflix, I think. So pretty easy.
Sweet.
Yeah.
All right, I want to talk about some movies that I actually liked, okay?
That's good.
Like that I liked quite a lot. The Exorcist the beginning gets a bad rap, I think. I have not heard anybody ever talk about this movie in any sort of positive light.
Mm-hmm.
And I think this movie is like 85% good with a very poor ending. It's trying to explain like, well, the origins of oh God, what's his name? You've seen the original Exorcist, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You know, there's Damien, and then there's the old priest.
Right.
It's taking the old priest and showing how he became an exorcist. So it takes place in the 1940s in like Egypt, I think, somewhere in the Middle East. It may not be Egypt. It may just be somewhere vaguely in the Middle East. and he's essentially sent there by this person. He is at the beginning of the movie an ex-priest, and he is sent there to get an artifact that this collector wants because he's an archaeologist that like does freelance work for like stealing treasures for rich people essentially. Um, and the church that they have found is in a place where they say Christianity shouldn't have been at the time that the church was built.
Hmm.
So it's this big mystery about like, why is the church here? Why was it built and then immediately buried? Why is it like, why is this church from only 1500 years ago here in the sand? And it turns out that, oh no, this is where the devil is. It's the
Yeah.
Exorcist. That's not a surprise. Um, the whole beginning of this movie is like dealing with this tribe of natives and like dealing with like how British colonialism really forces out native tribes and conquers native people. So I think there's like some interesting commentary there
Hmm.
about how shitty the British are to literally everybody. At the time, they're mostly better now. Mostly.
Mostly. Yeah.
Um, not entirely,
Hmm.
but mostly. Um, but and then there's like there's a kid in one of the native kids is like gets possessed, but he's actually not the one that's possessed by the devil. It's actually somebody else. And that final possession is where the movie really falls apart for me because like there's a there's a woman that's like his love interest and she ends up being possessed and he exorcises her in like 15 minutes. And that's like the last act of the movie. And that part really kind of sucked. Like if it was just about like the British colonialism and didn't have and only dealt with like the artifacts and why this church was here and all of that, I think this would have been great. But then you deal in the last 15 minutes, this woman gets possessed and like gets the scratches on her face and they're like splitting open like Reagan and she's got the pale skin like Reagan from the first Exorcist movie because
Yeah.
they just have to do that again, don't they? And I think it would have been a better movie if they just didn't
Right.
because everything else about this movie is really good and really interesting.
Yeah.
So,
It sounds like it sets it up
it
well, but they had to have that. Oh, the fans will like this. That's what it seems like. They had
yeah,
to throw that in at the end there. Yeah.
yeah.
And the fans didn't
And
like it.
the fans did not like it. Me, the fans
Yeah.
did not like it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Much like we don't like The Exorcist 2.
Right.
But we love The Exorcist 3 because that one's really good.
I have never seen 3. I've seen the first 2. I didn't like 2 at all. I liked the first
Yeah,
one,
no, because 2
obviously.
sucked.
Yeah, 2's terrible. So I was like, oh, I guess this franchise is only the first movie, but I didn't really realize there was any other good ones. So yeah.
3 is legitimately fantastic.
Okay. Duly
Like
noted.
it might be better than the first one. Some people consider it better than the first one. I don't know if I would go quite that far with it simply because like The Exorcist is the first movie that like really scared me when I was a child
Yeah.
because I was shown that movie when I was like 9. So, totally age appropriate. Show that to 9-year-olds. Definitely. They'll have trauma all their lives. Um I'm fine. Don't worry about me. But
Uh, nice.
um yeah, Exorcist the beginning I think is actually mostly good. It was interesting enough. Um and then another movie kind of modern. Let me find out when this came out. Vanishing on 7th Street.
Vanishing on something. I'll look it up too.
2010.
2010.
This stars Hayden Christensen and John Leguizamo, and
Oh.
then Thandie Newton, who I don't know as an actress particularly, but if you look at her IMDb page, she's been in all kinds of stuff. You have seen her in things,
Mm-hmm.
but you probably don't know her name. This is
Character actor, right? Basically.
Yeah, she's a character actor.
Yeah.
She's been in all kinds of TV shows. Like I think she was in like Grey's Anatomy at one point in time. She had like episodes in House. Like if you watched TV at any
Mm-hmm.
point in time between like 1995 and 2010, you have seen this woman's face.
I've seen
You
her
know?
face many times. She's in Pursuit of Happiness with Will Smith. She's in a lot of stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah. So yeah.
yeah. She's been around. Um, and they're all great. Every one of these guys is great. I like seeing Hayden Christensen in a role that's not a Jedi. I thought that was awesome, first of all.
I honestly
And
think
him being
he gets a bad rap, but I think he's a good
he
actor.
does.
Like generally,
He
yeah,
is.
yeah.
Um but he's so well known as Anakin, you
Yeah.
know?
Mm-hmm.
So the whole plot of this movie is that suddenly on this day everyone just vanishes except for a couple of people. And nobody quite knows why for a while. And these couple of people end up finding each other all like, and it turns out that people are vanishing if they are in the darkness.
Hmm.
And these people, they did not vanish because at the time that everybody vanished, they had a flashlight on them or some sort of light source on them at that time. And so it's them trying to figure out how to survive and how to get out of the city. And Hayden Christensen's character at one point is like, the sun was up for 2 hours and now it's gone. Like, what is happening? So
Mm-hmm.
nobody knows what is happening. And you get no answer as to what is happening, which is perfect. I'd love a horror movie that does not give me the answers.
You don't need the answers. It's just creepy, just to be creepy, and it's kind of mysterious, right? Sometimes that's best. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. So it's all of these characters, like they're from different walks of life. They all have different opinions about what they should be doing, what they shouldn't be doing. Like, should they get out of the city? Should they be staying at this one place where they all end up at this bar that still has lights on? Like, lights won't work anywhere else in the city, but like this bar, for whatever reason, when everybody was vanished, there was like a generator running in the basement of this bar. So they're keeping this generator running to make sure that they still have lights, so they have somewhere safe to be inside of this place. And yeah, it's a surprisingly good movie, and I'm saying it's surprisingly good because I feel like this is a movie that nobody has ever talked about ever in their lives. It's got like, I don't know, a pretty mediocre rating online, so it seems, and I don't really know why, because I found it really fun and interesting. Like, yeah, this was a good movie, really good movie.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it.
I feel like a lot of just to comment on the like low ratings on like horror movies, especially anything that's a genre picture like this, like it's like specific genre. I feel like people lean a little low regardless, even if it is a good movie. It's just how it ends up being, unfortunately. But it does sound good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So stay in the light, stay out of the shadows. You end up in the shadows, you disappear.
That's a
Good.
cool premise. Yeah. And I saw John
Yeah.
Leguizamo's in there too, which I like that guy.
Yeah. Yeah, and he's great. He was working at a movie theater when everybody vanished, and he was the guy who was like working the film reel, so he had like a headlamp on because you can't be in the film booth with lights on because then the projector wouldn't work, you know?
Right.
So he had to have just like a little headlamp, and that's why he didn't get vanished.
Nice. That's honestly, I'm surprised that it probably didn't do very well, it sounds like, but that could be like a series, like, because like find another group of people that didn't get vanished, and just keep on making it if they wanted to. That's a cool premise.
Yeah. It is an interesting premise and a very interesting movie. A great set of actors, really good. Just, yeah, good time. Good time.
Well, speaking of great set of actors, I watched Together. It's another new movie. It just came out. I think it just came out on VOD like not that long ago. It's has Alison Brie in it and Dave Franco, the couple, in real life couple. So the whole thing about this movie is it's a movie about codependency. So Dave Franco it's a horror movie as well. You see the like the cover, like their eyelids are like connecting together. There's gonna be some body horror in this. So Alison Brie's like a really successful teacher. She's like very successful. Dave Franco's kind of a burnout musician, and nobody gets why she's still with him, but she still loves him regardless. No matter how much of a burnout he is, no matter how much of a quote unquote failure he is, she's always got his back, etc. He moves with her, and it's like almost the end of their relationship. Like they are close to divorcing. You know, they're like fighting and things like that. They move out to like this fancy school that's in this like really nice neighborhood, and it's kind of like more in a suburb that's surrounded by woods, and they basically buy this cabin that's in the middle of the woods, and they go out on a hike one night, and they fall down this hole, and they can't get out of this hole. They're stuck in there, and they're of course bickering and fighting, and there's like this mysterious pit in the hole, and it has kind of looks like alien looking around it. Dave Franco's like, well, we need to drink water. Let's drink some water. And she's like, no, I'm good. I'm not drinking that water. So he drinks the water. As they're leaving, they see, I think it like cuts to a different scene because they don't see this, but there is another scene that it cuts to where there are dogs that are like drink from that same pool to kind of set up like this backstory. And they're kind of like obsessed with each other, like staring at each other, these dogs. And then one day, the kid walks into the room, hearing like weird noises, like dogs growling and stuff, and their faces have morphed together, and they're starting to become one dog together, basically.
Okay.
So what it ends up being is like this pool creates people become connected, like satellite connected, basically. Like they desire each other, and if they are too far apart from each other, they desire each other to the point that they become sick and like, no, I need to be close to you regardless. So basically It's a commentary on like codependency and like, is that good? Is it toxic? Is it not? It's a really interesting thing because what ends up happening is anytime blood or saliva gets on somebody else, that's who you get connected with. So she makes out with them in the scene, and this whole time she's like, why are you following me around? Why are you acting so weird? Like, why are you so obsessed with me? Because he's the only one who drank the water. And then she leaves, and she's starting to feel that feeling because she's driving away. And as she's driving away, she's just like feeling like sickness in her body. So she goes and meets him. And then what ends up happening is, I guess, you don't care if I spoil. I know you don't.
No.
So what ends up happening is they're trying to fight this the whole time. They're like they feel magnetically like attracted to each other, like physically they like their bodies are pulling like to each other, like they're like forcing their bodies away, and the only way to like stop it is to just basically get worn out like mentally, because the body will just continually like be attracted to the other person. And there's like the whole scene, they start making out, and like the end of the movie, they're like making out, and the hands are like, his hands are like going under her skin, and they're like combining together. It's really cool imagery. It's really good commentary on codependency. Like, I don't think it really says much about it. You know, is it good? Is it bad? Etc. But it was a very interesting concept for a movie, and I think they executed it well. My main commentary on like the actual effects is they don't use very many practical effects. There's a lot of CGI body horror in this, which isn't really my favorite because it looks a little fake and a little weird. It doesn't look as good as like using like dummies and like, you know, like the substance uses, which we'll talk about in a bit, and stuff like that. So it's not very much, it's nothing like that. But I actually ended up really liking the acting and the performances in the movie, and I think it's a really well told story. It's a very simple premise, and it works really well, and it's just a solid little movie. I had a good time with it.
Okay. Interesting. Not a big Dave Franco fan, but
that's fair. Is it just
maybe he's good in this? I don't know.
Is he a little too cocky for you? Like, I feel like he always plays the cocky guy, you know?
Yeah, I don't know. There's
the Franco brothers not your favorite, basically?
No,
Yeah.
not my favorite actors.
Yeah, that's fair. I like Alison Brie though. I think she's awesome. My favorite thing she's ever been in. Have you ever seen Glow on Netflix? That show about the women wrestling. That show's really well done. She's a great actor. She's great in it. I think she's a great actor. I don't know why she likes Dave Franco either. He's fine. Like, to me, he's fine. I don't need to see
Right.
everything he's in. If he's in something, he's not going to bother me. But I'm not like, oh my god, Dave Franco's on the
Yeah,
screen. I'm excited.
I
You
don't
know?
hate the guy or anything.
Yeah, yeah. Movie's solid though. If it comes to like a streaming service and you're interested, I think it's worth watching. And I really liked it. Like myself, I thought it was a pretty cool idea and premise, and they execute it pretty well.
Cool. Um, I watched a couple of '90s horror movies. First one, well, I'm gonna switch the order on these, how I have them on the sheet here. First one I want to talk about actually is gonna be Castle Freak.
Mm-hmm.
I watched this in the Discord with our friend Johnny, Bad Times, and this is about this family that like moves into this castle that they inherited um from like a distant aunt, and she had kept her son, who was pronounced dead technically and is considered dead on the books. She had kept this kid locked up in the cellar and like would just go down there and torture him, and but then feed him and
Mm-hmm.
then leave. And so she dies and this kid is just stuck in the basement, but he's not a kid anymore, he's like 40.
Right.
So this disfigured, tormented, cannot speak guy, fucked up looking dude, is in the basement of this castle, and he gets out and he's been tortured his whole life, so he starts a killing, um, or at least trying to. And yeah, it's just this weird kind of creepy story about that guy, and then like the dad in the story, um he was like a drunk driver and he got his son killed and blinded his daughter, so she can't see anymore. Like during the accident she got glass in her eyes, so she can't see anymore, and he's on the brink of divorce with his wife because of it. And then um they've been like fighting and he's been sober for a while now, but then nobody is believing him about some things, and like he thinks that like there's something in the house, nobody else believes that there's something in the house, and it's just, and then he ends up getting drunk and getting a hooker and bringing her back to the house, and then the castle kid kills the hooker, and then the police are investigating and think that it was the dad. So it's this whole who done it that we as the audience know who done it. You can see like the
Mm-hmm.
repercussions of how all that is happening, and it's just, it's a, yeah, it's a good movie. This is a lot of fun. Um, People say that '90s horror movies are bad, and that's just not true, because
There's
this is
plenty of
one of
good
the good
ones.
ones.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's plenty of good ones. People, like I said earlier, people like to hate on genre movies, especially horror.
Uh-huh.
So it doesn't matter what era it is. They like the people just love to do that. So yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I think there's like this, I don't know, a lot, even among horror fans, there's like this notion that, you know, the '70s and the '80s were like the heyday of horror, and then like through the '90s and into the 2000s, at least the early 2000s, like horror wasn't good. But it's like, no, that's just not true. There were good horror movies in the '90s. I mean, this is a good example. Another one that I watched that I'll talk about. I'll talk about it right now. Wishmaster
Mm-hmm.
came out in like '97.
Yeah.
Was made by it was directed by a guy who worked for a special effects studio. So it's just a fucking special effects movie. And
Oh,
it's
I've
about a
seen this
genie.
movie. I've seen this. Okay, I was like,
Yeah.
sounded familiar, and I started seeing images, and instantly I was like, okay, I've seen this guy. So yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So that movie, it's about this djinn, and he monkey paw wishes. You make a wish with him, and he does it. He makes the worst possible outcome of whatever your wish is.
Yep.
And it's just him fucking with people. It's just a fun fucking movie, man. Uh and a lot of really really good practical effects. There's a couple of like early CG effects that don't hold up, that like they couldn't figure out how to do um with practical effects. Like a guy turns into a glass window and then shatters, and that looks really bad. But other than that, like people getting set on fire, turned into skeletons, like it's just awesome. Really, really fun time.
old effects like that are to me. I know it looks bad, but it's just more charming nowadays. It's like,
It
oh
is
yeah,
charming.
they're
Yeah.
trying their best. That I don't care. You can just I can suspend my disbelief for a minute. You know, I know the CGI is not going to look
Yep.
great. You know, yeah.
Before you move on to the Nightmare movies, I wanted to mention Shocker also, because this is another movie from the 90s, and this is a bad horror movie from the 90s.
Okay.
This was directed by Wes Craven, and this is like, what if Freddy Krueger could move through electricity instead of people's dreams?
I've heard of this before. I haven't seen it, but I've heard of it. Yeah.
This movie's not very good. It's very stupid. The premise doesn't really make sense. Like, none of the characters' actions really make sense. And the kills aren't even that good. So it kind of feels just like a pointless movie.
Mm-hmm.
And I've heard, I don't know if this has ever been confirmed, but I heard that the studio that wanted Craven to do this movie wanted essentially another Freddy Krueger. They wanted another guy that they could market and make a bunch of movies with. So they made this and attached Wes Craven to it, because I don't think he wrote this. I think he just directed it as like a way to try and, you know, market it as being like the next big thing. And it wasn't, because this is the only Shocker movie, and that's a good thing, because this movie's not fun.
So,
like,
it's
I mean, it's okay, I guess, but it's not great.
The way you described that makes it seem like he kind of made the movie not great so that he didn't feel like he had to keep making them. Maybe, I don't know.
Yeah,
Question mark?
maybe.
I don't know.
I mean, there's some interesting, you know, there's some interesting direction to like how things are shot and stuff, but maybe that's more on the cinematographer than it was on the director. I don't know. Like, I don't think this is not like the worst movie I've ever seen, but it's also not great.
Not memorable. It's like, okay, in like 10 years you'll be like, oh, I think I watched that type of movie, right? You're like, I kind of remember some scenes from that, but it's not going to be like a classic or anything, right?
Yeah, no, it's not very good. And most of what I've watched this year for like the Halloween season, usually what I end up doing is I'll go out and I'll buy a whole bunch of horror movies that I've never seen before.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, I'll buy like a stack of 20 movies or whatever, and then sit down and try and watch all of them throughout the month, then sprinkle in a few extras of like movies that I've seen before that I want to rewatch and whatnot. And that's always fun. This year, I had enough movies just kind of sitting on my shelf that I hadn't watched that I had purchased just over the last couple of years. Because, like, you know, I go to a DVD store or whatever, and I buy 5 movies, and then I come back home and I watch 3 of them, and then the other 2 sit on the shelf for a year until I feel like watching them. So I had all these horror movies, and Shocker was one of them. Where that's literally been sitting on my shelf unwatched for like almost 10 years.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
And I finally was like, it's time. Like, let's just fucking put it in and see what this is about, even though I had heard it was bad.
Yeah. But sometimes you hear it's bad. Right. Sometimes you watch it and then you're like, oh, that actually was better than I thought it would be. And then other times you're like, okay, they were right. So, yeah. All right. Well, speaking of Wes Craven, I watched the first 4 Nightmare movies, Nightmare on Elm Street.
Yeah.
So what ended up happening is, so what we're trying to do for us is we're trying to kind of build a semi-digital library. I know some people think what you will, but we decided Apple TV is the best quality streaming. So we're like, if there's ever deals on Apple TV, we can buy like box sets on there, because, you know, they're usually pretty cheap. So I was like, $20, and it was every single Nightmare on Elm Street, including New Nightmare, you know. So I was like, why not? You know, like, that's like 10 movies or something. Let's buy it, you know? So we bought that. It was $20, no big deal. And then we watched the first 4 of these. And my background here is I've only seen the first one and then like scenes from like other movies. I had never really seen like the full entirety of any other Nightmare on Elm Street movies. So this is kind of basically my fresh experience after the first one, which I've seen the first one a bunch of times. Great movie. Yeah. We know it. Fantastic. We love it. Yeah. It's one of the best ever, you know. So,
what's your favorite scene from the first one?
That's a hard one. Let's see. I mean,
There's a lot of iconic ones.
I know the one that always, whenever I just think of the movie, I always just think of the wallpaper. The Freddy coming out of the wallpaper. I know that's probably the boringest answer of them all, but that's the one that comes to mind. But
it's a scary scene, it's really well done.
Yeah, I think it's one of my favorites.
They had him stretching through the latex. It's really good.
It's really good.
My favorite scene from that movie has always been it's like, I think it's an underrated scene. Freddy's chasing after Nancy, and he just goes, Nancy, watch this, and he puts up his hand and just cuts off two of his fingers.
Yeah, that's so
just
cool.
The look on his face. He like looks at her, and then he looks back at his fingers, and he looks at her, and he's just got this deranged look on his face while he's squirting blood out of his fingers. And I'm just like, it's so good.
He's so, he's just so good, Robert Englund. He's so good. But anyway, so the second movie,
real quick, I like that scene so much because it's not about him trying to kill Nancy. It's about him just fucking with her because he can.
Yeah, and they play with that a lot in that movie and the sequels. So
yeah,
the second movie I thought was okay. I didn't like it as much as the first. It's kind of hard to follow up the first anyway. I like it. It's a lot more comedic. I noticed there's a lot more just funny Freddy moments in it. Obviously I'll watch it again. It's pretty good, but it didn't really blow me away. I actually thought the third movie was the Dream Warriors or The
Dream Warriors.
Warriors. That movie is amazing. I love that movie. I thought it was really well done. It's just really fun. It's so fun. Yeah. All the characters coming together, and just the kills in that movie are just always also creative, and it's just bright. It's kind of bright and cheery at the same time as it being creepy and horror vibes, and I think this is the best Freddy. This is the best Freddy I've seen, since I haven't seen the rest of the movies yet, which we plan to watch the rest of the series before Halloween here. But
what's your favorite kill in this one?
I think this one has the waterbed scene where he's in the waterbed. That's this one, or is that 4? I can't remember. They're all starting to blend together already. So
the waterbed where he gets sucked down to the waterbed in the blood fountain, that's in the first one.
Is that in the first one? Okay.
Yeah, that's Johnny Depp.
That is Johnny Depp. Yep, you're right.
Yep.
Damn. I'm trying to think.
Yep, young Johnny Depp.
Yeah, I did not even remember that was Johnny Depp, and then I was like, yeah, that's Johnny Depp, and so I was like, really? That doesn't even really look like him. I'm like, yeah, the Hollywood would do that to you, but anyway, yeah.
I love the scene where he turns into the TV and then grabs the guy, shoves him up into the TV.
Mm-hmm. That's a really good one.
Fun. 3 also has the Freddy worm where he turns into the big green purple worm and eats Buddy.
Oh man, there's a lot of really cool scenes in there. I'm trying to separate them in my head. You know what I mean?
Right.
I think one of the creepier ones is the junkie, and he has the needles as fingers. I thought that was really effective and cool. A cool scene too. I don't know. I just really like just the premise of we're building a team. That's pretty much what this movie is, and it worked out really well. And Nancy shows up in this one, in this one or 4. I'm mixing.
Yeah, she shows up in this one where she shows up. She's helping the kids.
Yeah, that's
get
right.
through their sleep fears, and she's like, "Well, it's actually this fucking psychopath, and he's trying to kill you."
Yeah, exactly. Yep. And then she comes back. That was a nice moment because she kind of just shows up in the doorway, and then you see the hair, the little streak of gray, and you're like, "Oh my god, Nancy's back! Let's go!" So it's pretty cool. The fourth one, I didn't like it that much. It was okay. It's fine.
It kind of sucks.
Yeah, that's the one with Freddy, Beach Freddy, and that dream where he's kind of corny Beach Freddy. I don't know. It's kind of a rough movie, but it's okay. I don't expect all these to be bangers, but 1 and 3 were really, really, really fun. I don't know if I have much good ones left here after the first 4.
So 5 is worse than 4. I'll say that. I don't like that one at all. Yeah. And then the 6th one is Wes Craven's New Nightmare, which I actually really, really love. I think that movie's really good.
It's the meta one, right? Where it's this is real world, and Nightmare on Elm Street's a movie, and then the actor that plays Nancy is in it. like as the
Yep.
actor, right? Yeah,
Yep. And Robert Englund's in it as Robert Englund,
yeah,
who's playing Freddy Krueger.
that's cool. I like that. I
That's
mean,
really fun. That's a really good movie.
yeah. So we have the rest of them to watch. Just a few more left, but I'm excited for that. Uh, it I can see where like the vibes for Scream come in because I know he did Scream as well, and
Yep.
that's like actually a good '90s horror movie right there. Scream's
Yeah, it
amazing.
is.
Scream's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, we might watch some Scream too, just because I like the directing style and I like Wes Craven movies in general. So, I hadn't seen, like I said, I hadn't seen this series. Love the Scream series. I like all the Scream movies for the most part. There's a couple of rough ones in there, but the newest one, I think Scream 5 was actually pretty solid. I was like, okay, yeah, it's pretty good. But anyway,
I actually don't own any of the Scream movies, which is kind of insane because I really do like those. Actually, I might own the first one on VHS still, and then I just never upgraded to a DVD copy of it. But I also don't have a VHS player hooked up anymore, so
yeah,
it's like I don't own Phantom Menace on DVD because
it's a VHS.
I still have a VHS of it.
There you go.
I should probably buy that.
So random, but I saw a shirt recently. It was the Mystery Gang from Scooby Doo, right? And they were unmasking the Scream character, and it was it was Shaggy, Matthew Lillard. I thought that was a pretty fun shirt. Anyway, just random.
Yeah. Oh, that's really good. I like that.
Yeah, it's a nice little twist on it. I was like, damn, I actually kind of want that shirt. Did
you see that video that I sent you earlier?
I didn't have time to watch it. You just sent it like right before we recorded. I need to watch it.
So
don't.
I'll drop a link to it in the description so that people know what the hell we're talking about. But it is this like 1 minute animated short of the Scooby Gang meeting Art the Clown from Terrifier.
Yeah.
And it's really funny because Shaggy's like, but he's cute. Like, look at him. He hasn't done anything wrong.
He does get that big, like, cheesy, shit-eating grin all the time. Art does, so yeah, I can see that. Do you want me to wrap up with my one last movie here, and then you can finish this out with your last movie?
Yeah. Go ahead and talk about Zombieland because it's
it's a nice and quick one.
You got the rules. You got to have the rules.
What's your opinion on Zombieland? I guess I liked it a lot back in the day. Rewatching it now, it's fun. It's funny. It has good scenes. It just feels very 2008 or 9, whenever it came out. It feels very much of the era.
It does, yeah.
Yeah.
I still like it. I think it's fun. I maybe my opinion on it has lowered over the years a little bit, but I think it holds up pretty well.
It does. Like it's a solid little comedy horror movie. Like the Bill Murray scene is iconic. Like it's amazing.
Yep.
Him getting shot in the gut, and then it's like, do you have any regrets? Maybe Garfield as he's dying. Amazing. So good. So there's just so many like little jokes like that throughout the movie, but it really does feel like this is 2008 and we're making a movie.
Yeah.
It just has that. It has when I was in high school feeling to it, But
yeah,
I really liked it. Yeah. So for me, like back then, that was like one of my favorite movies ever. Like I love that movie. Like when I was like 18, 19, I was like, this movie's amazing. This is like so funny. I watched it like dozens of times. I rewatched it this year and I was like, that was solid. It's fun. It's like as I get older, I'm like, okay, it's maybe not the best movie ever or anything, but when I was a kid, I was like, hell yeah, this is my identity. I love this movie. So
yeah, really good. I haven't watched it it's probably been a little over a year since the last time I watched it. It's a pretty frequent like just pop it in while I'm doing stuff kind of movie because you don't really need to pay attention to what's going on most of the time. And
it's short too. It's like an hour and 22 minutes or something. It's like you're in and out and you get some good jokes, some fun acting. You got Woody Harrelson, Emma Stone, and Eisenberg in there just doing their thing, so.
Yeah, it's a really good cast. Like that's a lot of really great actors in that movie. So.
And that young girl, I can't think of the actor's name, but she's in a bunch of other stuff and she's really good too. So,
yeah. And then I watched Reanimator again, and
there you go.
Josh, have you seen Reanimator?
It's been a really long time, but yes, I've watched it.
Okay, like this is a classic. It's just a good movie. Like, I don't know what else you want me to say. Like, It's fun, it's gory, it's funny, it's got great practical effects. Like, it's just a fun fucking movie. Um, I could go. You don't need me to go in on the plot of Reanimator. This is a horror movie podcast today. You know what Reanimator is.
Yeah, I just the when I think of the movie, the image in my head is the head in the like petri dish or like in the like tray, like moving and stuff.
Yeah.
That's what I see in my head. Yeah, so yeah, it's man, you make me want to rewatch that. Maybe I will.
You should. That's a really fun, really fun movie. Yeah, I don't have much to say about it. Like, it's great. It's a masterpiece. It's one of the best movies that's been made in the genre. So
yeah, it's incredible. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, it deserves its reputation.
Yeah.
All right. Does John Carpenter deserve his reputation? Let's find out.
Okay.
Here in just a minute after I take a momentary break. Yeah,
that's fine. Sounds good. I always do that thing whenever someone asks me a question, I just get put on the spot, and then my mind goes blank. That's what happens when you ask me about Nightmare. I was like,
yeah. It's fine. It happens.
All right, so we're going to talk about John Carpenter movies.
Yeah, let's talk about John Carpenter movies. Josh, which ones of his movies did you watch?
The main two that you asked me to focus on.
Okay.
I planned to watch at least 2 more, and it just didn't work out. But I will say, I enjoyed these movies enough where I'm going to watch more John Carpenter movies.
I was really hoping you were going to get to a few more.
Yeah.
And that we would have like 4 or 5 John Carpenter movies to talk about today. Because even like some of the ones that I didn't recommend, right? I think are still really, really good that you could have gone and watched. Like, you could have gone and watched The Fog. You could have gone and watched Vampires. You could have watched not a horror movie at all, but Assault on Precinct 13 is also fantastic. Like, he's got such a good filmography over his career,
right?
That there's enough good stuff. I was hoping you would dig in a little deeper, but
that's okay. Sorry,
alas, you didn't.
I apologize.
That's okay. No, that's okay.
I apologize. Well, so I will say I really enjoyed both. So I watched Big Trouble in Little China and They Live. Like, those are like, maybe honestly, talking about John Carpenter, those are the 2 I hear almost the most, and then usually The Thing, which I've seen a million times, and then what is it?
Prince of Darkness.
Prince of Darkness.
Escape from New York also. Prince of Darkness gets brought up a whole lot. And then there's the End of the World trilogy, or the Apocalypse trilogy, which is the Thing, Prince of Darkness, and Into the Mouth of Madness, which is those 3 movies combined is an unofficial trilogy.
Oh, I didn't know that.
All 3 of them are fantastic.
Yeah.
And obviously we're not talking about The Thing today because you had already seen The Thing. So I wasn't going to recommend you a movie that you had already seen.
I mean, you can. I probably would have rewatched it, but yeah. So,
hey, you can watch The Thing whenever you want. It's going to be a fucking fantastic time, regardless.
It's amazing. Yeah. So, my thought. Okay, so the movie I was trying to watch was Escape from New York. I was watching it last night, and it was one of those things where I was nodding off, and I would like wake up and see like a couple scenes. So it's like I didn't have enough to like really like chew on and I talk about. I do think I'm going to finish that movie, and I'm going to watch the sequel as well as Escape from LA.
Escape from LA.
Yeah, I'm going to watch both of those for sure. And then I'm going to mix in probably the rest of them. So we'll have more John Carpenter conversations next month too, for sure.
Josh, do you know why I wanted you to watch Escape from New York now?
Yes.
Do you understand?
It's Metal Gear Solid, right? The main character?
Yeah. It's Snake.
It's Snake. Snake plus.
Where do you think Kojima got it from? All he does is copy the movies.
Yeah, he does. He does it a lot. The thing is, okay, so the name is Snake Plissken, right? So in Metal Gear Solid 2, there you play as a different character, Raiden, right?
Uh-huh.
We won't talk about this much because I know you don't really care for the series, but anyway, it's relevant. So in this series, there's another character that is named Plissken. That appears. That's just Snake. We all know it's Snake. But his new code name is Plissken. And I'm like,
Yeah.
so literally he just took that from that as well. So.
Yes. Kojima literally just took it from that movie.
And honestly, if you look at Snake, his haircut is literally just Kurt Russell's haircut. You know, like it really is. Yeah. So
he's got the eye patch.
Yeah. So yes. What I've seen in that movie is a lot of fun. It does seem like a series. Both of those I want to watch those for sure. We could talk about the movies I did finish and really watch. I'll start with one I didn't like as much, and then one I liked a lot. So which one do you think I like the most out of those two?
I think you like Big Trouble in Little China a lot.
I like They Live a little bit more.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So why did you dislike Big Trouble in Little China?
I wouldn't say I disliked it. I liked it. I would say, okay, so if I was going to put these on like a letterbox out of 5, right? So I would give like They Live like a 4.5. Like I really liked it.
Okay.
And then I would give Big Trouble like a 3.5. It's just a little bit lower, but it's still a movie I really enjoyed. So I just didn't know what to think of the movie. I think I need to rewatch it, just to be honest, because I was watching it. I was like, a lot of stuff gets thrown at you at the beginning. So I guess so. His name is what? Jack. It starts with a B. Burton. Jack Burton.
Oh, Jack Burton.
Yep. I love the character. I thought I would have loved
such a doofus.
I could have seen him do Jack Burton for like 10 movies. I just thought he was so good. Like he's so dumb, but he has a heart of gold. You know, like he is an ally. He wants to help. He wants to help you move your couch to, you know, move your apartment to another apartment. You know, he's like that type of guy. He's just like a dude that gives a shit. He's a little bit, you know, dumb, but that's fine. But he means well, you know. Like honestly my favorite little bit in this movie, just to jump right into it. There's a scene where he has like an Uzi and he shoots the ceiling and the ceiling just crashes on his head. And he just like gets knocked out. So this movie was really funny. I'm gonna start talking about this and I'll probably like bump my rating up because like, yeah, it's a really good movie. It's a really good B movie. Like if I was gonna be like, what's the best B movie I've ever seen? I would probably say this is probably the best B movie I've ever seen, or up there at least. You know, like it's a little hammy, it's a little corny. It has a lot of elements to it. Obviously I know you love this movie, right? Like it's one of your favorites.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. I've got a poster of it right here.
Yeah. And honestly, I understand why it's well loved. Just to be honest, I didn't know what to expect. So I knew it was gonna be a little campy and corny, like a little hammy, a little cheesy in times. But that's the point of the movie. That's kind of the vibe of the movie, right? Like it has a little bit of that energy. Yeah.
I went to rewatch it, and I had just watched it maybe a couple of months before we started this podcast, so it'd been really recently. The last time I watched it, and so I was like, well, I'm gonna turn on the audio commentary and just watch it with the commentary track, because like it's still a visually impressive movie to watch. Like it's still fun to watch. I know the scenes, I know what's going on, and it's the entire audio commentary is just Kurt Russell and John Carpenter like cracking jokes at each other and talking about different scenes and like the people that are in it and everything. And so before I get into that too much, let's take a step back for a second and talk a little bit about the plot of this movie, right? So Jack Burton is this trucker and
just drinking a 40, driving on his little ham radio, you know, like very much just salt of the earth type of guy. And then he has this friend that has a girlfriend, so he picks up his friend in his Mack truck, and he goes, you know, they're gonna go pick up this girlfriend from the airport. She has green eyes. That's a very big important plot point. And then she gets kidnapped by these like dudes with weird sunglasses that are like kung fu dudes. Like, and you're like, okay, what's going on with this, you know? And then go to basically they find out that they're in Little China, and then hijinks ensue in Little China right when they arrive, right? So
so there ends up being like this big battle in between these two rival gangs, and Jack Burton is just there. He's caught in the middle of it. Like, he doesn't want to be there. He did not want to get involved in this battle. It's just happening around him.
Yeah, they're like sitting in the truck, and they're like, there's people just getting gunned down left and right. There's ninjas flipping around like in midair, and just like a bunch of crazy shit's happening. I love the stunts in this movie. I think that's one of my favorite parts. Is besides I feel so is John Carpenter's like calling card the practical effects, because I feel like I see that in a little bit in everything I've seen. Okay, cool. So practical effects are awesome in this movie. The stunts are really fun. The comedy is really good. Like, there's not a lot to hate about the movie. It's just you just have to the part that was a detractor for me was I just didn't know what to expect. So when I got basically visually assaulted by all this stuff, I didn't know what didn't expect what was coming my way, So yeah.
So now that like we're in Little China, one of the things that they were saying on the audio commentary is that John Carpenter said that like he got a little bit of backlash from like left-leaning media at the time, saying that he was like culturally appropriating Chinese cinema, essentially.
Yeah.
But all of the Chinese guys that he hired are guys from Hong Kong cinema in the 80s. Like, you go and watch any of the Hong Kong movies from the 80s, you're going to see these same faces. You're going to see these same actors. Because he brought them all over because he liked Hong Kong movies and he just wanted to make one. Yeah,
it kind of reminds me of Tai Chi Zero Hero, where they like just threw a bunch of like actors that were known for kung fu movies in there.
Yep.
Yeah. So and it's, to me, I didn't even think that for a second. So I can understand people thinking that, but yeah.
He said that like that was the people's take at the time in the media, but when he was talking with, all of his Chinese actors on set and being like, is this okay for me to be doing? They're all like, yeah, you're making a kung fu movie. Like, cool, do it. Let's make it. It's a cool movie.
And
so if the people from the culture don't have a problem with it, maybe you fucking shouldn't either. And I don't. I think this movie's fantastic.
Yeah, so basically the girlfriend ends up being like the MacGuffin of the movie. Like, they need to save her because what's the bad guy's name? It's like Lu Bao, something like that. I forget.
It's
Lu Bao. Anyway, the whole thing is he's like 2,000 years old. He's been living forever, and for his body to basically become like whole again, he needs to become married and basically absorb somebody, right? Or that's what I grasped from it. So. And
he needs to absorb their essence.
And
he needs a Chinese girl with green eyes.
Green eyes, yeah. And they say that a million times. She has pools of green emerald eyes. They say it a lot. Like, that's like one of the main things they talk about. And there is that reporter girl. She has green eyes as well. She gets kidnapped as well later on. Just a lot happens in this movie. Yeah. And it moves at a quick pace because like it's like hour and 27 minutes or something, hour and 37 minutes, something like that. It's like super quick.
Yeah, and it flies by.
Yeah, and it flies by, and every like 2 minutes something else is happening. They're like in a new situation, so it's like it doesn't stop.
Yeah, it'd be really difficult to break this movie down like scene by scene.
Yeah.
In a podcast form like this. Like, we would be here for an hour talking about this movie if we tried to do that. So let's not, and let's just talk about the amazing practical effects at the end of this movie.
Oh yeah, I loved it.
The thrilling conclusion. So they essentially, there's a couple of characters that we need to mention also in that initial fight, the gang war that we see at the beginning of the movie. We see these three guys that are like these almost like gods. They come down on lightning, and they have like
the Mortal Kombat
weapons.
Characters. I was like, this is just Mortal Kombat characters like slapped in this movie. I almost forgot about them. Like, that was so surprising to me because like, okay, he arrives with the big 16-wheeler truck. He's sitting there with his friend. There's a bunch of guns and like karate stuff happening, and then out of nowhere, a lightning bolt strikes down. This dude with this giant straw hat has like lightning powers, and there's three of them now, and they're kind of like fighting as well. So they introduced them during that fight.
Yeah, so they were talking about it in the commentary. They're supposed to be like the personifications of like lightning, rain, and wind are
Okay.
the three guys, and so like that's their individual names, and they're like they work for Lu Bao, and they're like I don't know, like demigods, I guess maybe like powerful
Mm-hmm.
sorcerers.
Yeah.
Because Lu Bao's a sorcerer also, like that's how he's maintained his age and power throughout all these years. Um, so those three guys end up being like they're not like the main antagonists, but they are the like big bad guys that they have to get through to be able to get to the main
Honestly,
bad guy.
honestly, the plot of this movie is very video game. Like you got the mini
Oh yeah.
bosses with those guys, and then you got Lu Bao as like the big bad at the end, and then there's like little rival games you got to get through to get to the
Mhm.
big the mini bosses to the big boss basically in this movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh so yeah, you get to the end and like you've seen a little bit of like mystical shit with those guys and whatnot, and then all of a sudden shit just starts going all over the fucking place.
Yeah.
Lu Bao has like this little head that has a bunch of that's like just a floating head.
Yeah.
I don't
I
even
thought
know what that is.
I thought that was honestly I was like, is that there's no way this is CG. Like, because I was like, is this a early CG model? And I'm looking it up. I was like, no, that's like a practical effect with balloons that they put inside of this like puppet that they puppeted around, and it looks kind of like the demons, those cacodemon things from Doom, basically,
Doom,
like
yeah.
floating demon balls, I guess. And I didn't expect that. And then they also had like that sewer monster thing with like 7,000 teeth that like captures her, and she's like carrying her like it's like her monkey-like looking dude with like long dangly arms and a bunch of hair all over him. Kind of looks like a fucked up Sasquatch or something. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. The more I talk about this movie, the more I like it. It's I only watched it like a week ago, so it's still pretty fresh in my mind, you know. So it's like
Right.
I just kind of like been noodling on it, but yeah, it's wild. I love the practical effects at the end for sure. Yeah.
It's big dumb fun.
Yeah.
And like Jack Burton, while he's the quote main character of the movie, he's actually more like the sidekick.
He is. Yeah.
He's the goofy sidekick. His friend, I don't remember the little Asian guy's name. Fuck.
I'll look it up. You can keep talking.
He might as well be the main character. Like if this were not an American movie, he would be the main character because he's the more important character. Like the Chinese girl with green eyes is supposed to be his wife.
Right.
Like he's the one who has everything to lose in the plot of this movie.
His name is Wong or Wong Chi.
Yeah. All right. So Wong.
Yeah.
He's the important guy. Jack Burton is just there for the ride.
Yeah, he's just there. Like he's just there. He's along for the ride. I love the whole thing where they do the like love interest thing with the reporter girl, and at the end he's just like, nah. She's like, you're not even gonna give her a kiss goodbye? Nah, I'm just gonna go do my own thing. He's like a loner, you know. Yeah. I like that little bit of a twist for like a love story, because it could have been easily he's like, yeah, I'm gonna marry this girl, you know what I mean? But no, he's just a loner trucker. That's just a side quest for him. He's gonna go do his own thing and his own.
Yeah, he's
life,
gonna get back on the road and he's gonna keep being Jack Burton.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like they could have made like Big Trouble in Blank and like did another one of these if they would have, you know, and kept that character. Of course they can't now. Rest in peace, but Kurt Russell. But you know, so
yeah.
But I watched the movie. This is like my whole thought process when I was watching it. I was like, okay, I know this has some kung fu stuff in it. Honestly, I thought it was a little bit going to be more of a horror, has some more horror elements to it because it's October. So I thought, oh yeah, you know, maybe this is more of a horror vibe. And the only thing I really know John Carpenter for the most part is The Thing. So I'm like, okay, it has a little bit of creepy parts, but it's really not that at all. It's just kung fu action. No. Comedy, a little bit of sci-fi thrown in there. It's kind of a genre mash when it comes to all that stuff, but not very creepy at all. So
it's got some cool monster effects.
Yeah, it does. It really does.
And that's good enough for the season.
No, yeah, it is. It is. It really is. No, it's a dumb but positive dumb, not bad. Positive dumb fun movie. I liked his little catchphrase. What was it? It's all in the reflexes or something like that. Like he said that so many times, like 3 or 4 times, and that was like the when he kills the big bad at the end. The guy throws the knife at him. He catches it and just tosses it and chunks it right in his fucking forehead. Amazing.
Yeah, really, really fun. I love that movie. I think I don't think it's John Carpenter's best movie, because I think most people would probably say that The Thing is his best movie. I think The Thing is his best movie.
Yeah.
This is probably a pretty fucking close second, though. It's just a good time.
Yeah. I had a lot of fun. I had a big grin on my face the whole movie. So you're having a good time when your cheeks start hurting because you're smiling so much during the movie. So it's one I want to rewatch. I feel like it's going to be one I go back to with the eyes of knowing what to expect. I feel like maybe I should have possibly read a synopsis, but I was like, you know what? I figured I knew what it was. I was like, oh, it's just like it's like a kung fu action movie. I mean, that's what it is, but
yeah,
it's a lot zanier and out there than I expected, for sure.
Yeah. It was also a box office bomb for a lot of the reason that you're talking about. Like, people went into it and are just like, what is this?
Yeah.
They didn't know what to make of it, you know?
Yeah.
And kung fu movies hadn't really made it over here at that time.
Mm-hmm.
And they have more so now.
Right.
But they had at that point in time, but like, it was just Shaw Brothers bringing over movies and a couple other companies bringing over movies, and like they weren't getting theatrical releases, they weren't getting mainstream appeal. Like, they were being distributed by fucking small VHS shops and fucking gas stations and whatnot. Mm-hmm. So people hadn't really been exposed to like kung fu movies for real. It wasn't really until like the late 90s or the early 2000s that kung fu movies really started to take a hold on like the American psyche, just kind of as in a more general sense, around the time that like Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon was coming around, Hero and movies like that, and yes, there were others that, Chuck Norris had done some of his things with like Bruce Lee and whatnot, but like it wasn't the mainstream appeal, and it still isn't. Like, if you walk down the street and ask 100 random American citizens how many kung fu movies they've seen, most of them are probably going to say like 0 to 3. You know?
Yeah. So going into this, I was expecting more of an Ip Man or something like that, and I ended up getting more like Shaolin Soccer, Kung Pao Enter the Fist. You know what I mean? I didn't expect that, but now that I know that, I could rewatch it with those eyes. That's I think that's what kind of threw me off a little bit about it. But dude, it's a great recommendation. I had a good time with it. Like it's gonna be one I revisit for sure. So
sweet.
And
now with They Live,
I really like this movie. It's
really good, isn't it?
It's like a Twilight Zone episode, and then with Roddy Piper and freaking Keith David in it. Dude, the fight scene in this
is so cool.
The fight scene in this is the most 80s and the most cool fight. I mean, it goes on probably way too long.
So long.
But it was so fun. Okay, so the whole premise of this movie is Roddy Piper plays this like homeless guy. He's kind of down on his luck. He gets hired at a construction site, and there's something weird happening with the TV at night, and he's not really sure what's going on. Comes to find out there's some kind of conspiracy going on, and he finds these sunglasses. He puts the sunglasses on. Everything in New York has like subliminal messages in it. It says like obey, and I'm sure people have seen the images of like it says obey, or it says like marry and fornicate, or marry and have children, or it has like consume, and like, so everything, all the advertisements have like a hidden deep meaning, which a little on the nose, but I thought that was pretty well done, and it felt very creepy. That part did, for sure, when he put those, and it turns black and white when he does that, so as well. Go ahead. It seemed like you were going to say something. Okay. And then he discovers a lot of people in the civilization in New York have like these blue skull faces, or like creepy skull faces, and he notices it's usually somebody who is a little bit more, higher, more well off, more wealthy, or in power, are people that have like these skull faces. Come to find out, this is an alien race that is taking over the world, like assimilating its people, and trying to basically mine Earth for its resources, which I thought was pretty cool. So it like I said, it's a Twilight Zone thing where there's like a big twist where it's kind of like this big sci-fi thing at the end. One thing I thought was pretty funny is when he goes down into so they have like these like watches that basically teleport them to like the back rooms of New York, basically. And he goes down and there's like this convention going on, and one of the people there said, by the year 2025, all people in the world will be assimilated. I was like, that's just funny because it's 2025, obviously. So, coincidental. But anyway, I just thought the movie was really well done. It's a very much kind of like dad 80s action movie with a little bit of Twilight Zone thrown in there and a little bit of like nice, cool practical effects too. So yeah.
The messaging is really fucking hit right on the head, though, isn't it? With, all the consumerism and capitalism is bad, and the people in power are all the evil ones. Like, message still stands true today.
It hits really hard right now. Like, it hit really hard. I think that's why I liked it a little more, because it's like this movie is so prescient, and like its message is so like it's timeless, really. And I think that's what really stood out to me, and that's why I liked it so much. And I like Roddy Piper, and he was just cool, and Keith David's cool, and it's always fun to watch a couple of cool guys shoot a bunch of people and punch people in the face too. So
so the scene where Roddy Piper walks into the bank and he's like, I'm here to kick ass and chew bubble gum. And I'm all out of bubble gum.
And he just starts shooting all the skull face alien dudes. And that's funny because, of course, that's one of like Duke Nukem's like catchphrases. And I'm like starting to see a lot of like little things from They Live in other pop culture things, like that line and a bunch of other, like the obey thing, that's like a thing. And it's just like I could tell it's a very huge pop culture touchstone that I just didn't have, and now that I have it, I'm gonna start seeing little things that connect to it for sure.
Oh, you sure will. There's an entire Bob's Burger episode that's basically just this movie.
I believe it. Yeah.
Actually, it's not the entire episode. It's so you know how
they do like an A and plot and a B plot in the show, right?
Yeah, so it's one of the episodes where actually I know exactly what episode it is. It's the episode where Bob's dad is supposed to be coming over to the house to because Tina is supposed to be writing a book report about him, and everybody is telling stories about how Grandpa Bob almost got killed by a tree while he was camping out in the forest with his wife. And one of the story that Gene tells is just They Live.
Nice.
And Bob's like, were you standing in the hallway while I was watching They Live the other night? And Gene's like, no. And he says something to like completely sell himself out about actually having watched the movie from like the hallway.
God, I feel like, I know this is such a side tangent, but I think Bob's Burgers is one of those shows that doesn't have a bad episode. Like any episode of Bob's Burgers is good. Like even their like worst episodes are still like baseline good, Yep.
Yeah, 14 seasons in and still going strong, or 15 seasons, something like that, and still going strong. Like, you want to talk about a cultural touchstone icon at this point? Like, Bob's Burgers it's right up there with as culturally significant as The Simpsons or South Park, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, I agree. But anyway, back to They Live. This movie blew me away. Like I kind of knew what to expect. I knew it was some type of like, sci-fi, like there's the others type of thing, like there's something controlling us type of thing. I didn't know what much else besides that. I will say, every single John Carpenter movie, that I've seen, which is 3.5 now, so the directing and the cinematography is always just immaculate. Like he's so good at composing shots. Like there's so many like beautiful imagery in this movie and in Big Trouble as well. Like even though that movie's like it is what it is, but still that movie still has amazing shots in it as well. But there's just some shots they do in this movie that just they linger just long enough to where you're just living in that moment and you're just like you can feel the eeriness of the story and what they're trying to portray, and it just really sits with you. I feel like this is one that definitely I will revisit because it just has like I said, it's prescient. It tells a really good message. It's also cool guys punching things, but also just like shot really well, and it's really well. It looks really good too. So there's nothing really to detract my opinion about this movie. That's why I would rate it highly. So what I did with both of these is I follow some people on Letterboxd, people I know or people in the media and stuff. People seem to really like Big Trouble. Like all my friends were like 4 or 5 out of 5 stars. This one had like a couple like 2 stars and 3 stars in it. So I feel like maybe some people don't like it as much, and then some people didn't like. There's like I'll call Trav out. He didn't really like Big Trouble. I don't think. I think he gave it 2 stars on Letterboxd. But it is what it is. But I could see either one of these movies not hitting with people, but these 2 movies were just killer. Like I really liked them both. So
yeah. So I did intentionally, maybe unintentionally, but partially intentionally, not recommend like some of the stronger horror vibes that he has. I think Village of the Damned is a remake of a movie from the 60s, and is a creepy child movie. I think that one's not as great, but it definitely is more of a horror movie. Prince of Darkness is so much more of a horror movie. Into the Mouth of Madness is much more of a horror movie.
Okay.
So I could have gone that route, but I just like these movies too much where like if you haven't seen them, like this is the John Carpenter that you have to see before you start seeing the other stuff,
Yeah, no, I'm grateful you recommended them. Like I really enjoyed my time with them. Like I said with Big Trouble, I need to revisit it again with those eyes, knowing what I'm getting into. I can start noticing the little details and things because that movie's so overwhelming. There's so much going on. It's like, oh yeah, it's just hard to take it all in. I kind of know what it is. I mean, I know what it is now, so I can go back and be like, okay, I can appreciate the fight and the choreography here, and I can appreciate this. I appreciate what they're doing there, and then maybe catch on some more of the jokes and things like that I missed on my first watch. So for me, I think They Live will be one I watch once in a while, but Big Trouble I need to watch again probably in the, like next year or so. Like watch it again, try to get some more. Just feel it out again. Just get in that.
Yeah.
So yeah, but obviously great recommendations, like solid. So and we will be talking more John Carpenter. I plan to watch more this month coming up. So
awesome. Yeah. Finish the 2 Pliskin movies, and then you should definitely watch Prince of Darkness. Like 100%. Watch that one. That's just a good horror movie.
So my plan was to watch Escape from New York and then Prince of Darkness. That was like the goal when you know how it is. You plan something and then a bunch of stuff happens. So, but that was the original plan. So I'm going to stick with that and we'll watch those 2 for sure. And then I think I'm going to like Escape from New York. As far as I've seen it, I've been enjoying it already. So I think the sequel will be just like a no-brainer just to follow it up, so. Yeah.
I think Escape from LA is not that great personally.
Okay.
Like I don't hate it, but I also don't really love it either.
Okay. So far I do like, I mean, I like Kurt Russell. Like he's hard to not.
I like
not
Kurt
to
Russell a lot.
Yeah, so it's kind of like I'll watch another movie with Kurt Russell in it, like so yeah. Anyway.
Yeah, I think Escape from LA is just a little bit too cheesy in some ways for me personally. Like Escape from New York feels really gritty and just
has a little like
and nasty and dirty.
Yeah, it has a little cheese to it, but that's part of the
a little.
But it's not. So it kind of leans more towards like the camp. It sounds like in the second one. Okay, Good to know.
Yeah.
All right. So, want to talk about The Substance?
Yeah, I want to know why you suggested me watch this movie.
Because I love it.
Okay.
That's the main reason. I thought it was really well done. What do you think about it?
I like it. I think it's a really, really interesting body horror movie. I have some issues with it, though.
Okay.
My issues are going to be extraordinarily pedantic, and I'm sorry.
That's
but...
fine. Let's do it. So okay. So for me, I love a body horror movie. I just thought this was a really well done practical effects modern horror, like body horror movie, like from the practical effects.
Oh, for sure.
And
Yeah,
that's
from
the
an
reason
effects-
why I gave it to you, because I was like, oh, this is a really cool movie to see because the effects are really cool too.
From strictly from an effects point of view,
Right.
I love this movie. Like,
Yeah.
the effects are not my issue with this movie at all.
That's fair.
My issues come down to some of the plot contrivances.
Okay.
So the story of The Substance is that this woman, Elizabeth Sparkle, is getting older. She's like 50 now, as she was a big time Hollywood star. And then she has like this aerobics TV show that kind of looks like something out of the 80s, but it's also set in like modern day. So are aerobic shows still a thing? I don't know. I don't have cable. So, and when I did have cable, all I watched on cable was soccer, and now soccer's on Apple TV. So I just watch soccer on Apple TV, and I don't have cable anymore.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
I don't know. Maybe aerobic shows are still a thing where people turn on the TV every day to watch somebody work out and work out alongside them. I don't know. Is that still a thing? Do you know?
I don't know. I honestly, I just thought it was to feel like it's. I think they were kind of going for like not really Jetsons, but more like it's like a modern retro thing.
Yeah.
I thought that's the vibe they were going for the whole movie. So I just didn't think about it too hard. So on that one.
And like, I'm not. That's not a problem that I have with this movie.
Okay.
She ends up getting fired from this show, and hit the nail right on the head. The evil producer, his name is Harvey. Gee, I wonder fucking why.
yeah, that's true.
Yeah. So she's kind of depressed about it, and then she gets an offer from like this nurse of an advertisement for this thing called The Substance, and it says that it'll make her young again. And she throws it away, and then a little while later she comes back for it, and it's like, all right, well, maybe I do want to be young again, you know?
Right.
And so she gets the substance, and she takes it, and it is quite horrifying what actually happens to her. Like, her back splits open and another person comes out.
Yeah.
And that person is Sue, her younger self. Now, here is one of my problems that I have with this movie. The way that the substance is explained to her, and the way that it seems to be explained in the lore of the movie, is that it's supposed to be like her consciousness between the two bodies, right?
Yeah.
But it seems like when she's in one body or the other, she has no concept of what the other consciousness was doing, and that doesn't make sense to me.
Okay, I see what you're saying.
And I mean, like, that does drive like the primary conflict of this movie, which the conflict ends up being that Sue, the younger self, wants to stay in the world as her younger self because she goes out and she parties, and she has a successful TV show. She essentially takes Elizabeth's spot on TV and becomes like everybody's new favorite actress, the new hot thing in Hollywood, like Elizabeth once was. But would it, if her consciousness was the same person, wouldn't she, like, why wouldn't she like respect the balance more, because that's what the people keep telling her, is that she has to respect the balance between the two, and
Right.
that every 7 days she has to change back from one to the other.
I think the whole thing
Um,
is like her desire to be young is so like all encompassing that she just
mhm.
doesn't care if she doesn't listen to it. She's like, well, it works, so I'm just going to keep using the substance. And I think it's a kind of a commentary on addiction as well. She's so addicted to being this kid or younger version of herself, or this other
Right.
person, I guess. I guess the younger version, it is a younger version of herself. She just calls herself Sue. That's what I took out of it. I'm not sure. Um, but I see where you're coming from. It's like, so if they're sharing consciousness and that other body still exists, what is that? Why can't she like feel the pain that other consciousness is feeling at that point, right? That other
Mhm.
body or whatever. Is that's where your main like
It's not. I mean, it's
hang up
not just
is?
like, why isn't she feeling the pain of the other one? It's like, why would her older self just leave trash all over the apartment instead of, you know,
Keeping it
cleaning
clean.
up and, yeah, and keeping things normal? Because like that's like one of the driving forces behind why Sue starts to like rebel,
Mm-hmm.
essentially, is that when it's Elizabeth's turn to be in control of the consciousness, all she does is sit in front of the TV and eat food and leave trash all over the place. So then when Sue comes back into consciousness, she has to clean up the entire apartment.
Right.
And but if she knows that she is the same person, why would she not just clean up the fucking apartment in the
Actually,
meantime, you know?
yeah, I see what you mean. Maybe
And
the
maybe I wasn't reading into it from like the addiction standpoint, where
right.
like Elizabeth thinks that is so addicted to being young that when she is in her older self,
Yeah. She's having
that
withdrawal symptoms.
all she
She's having
yeah.
the active the the AWS active withdrawal symptoms, which
Mhm.
is I'm an alcoholic, so I've been through it. Like where you're trying to wean yourself off of it, and it's just like so drinking heavily every single day, and then you just cold turkey, you're gonna feel like shit. So I that's the way
Right.
I read into it. Like she just feels like shit because uh, she is addicted to the fame of being this young person. She wants to be that young person and be in the spotlight, but when she's old, she's not. She's just kind of has to hide in the shadows, so she gets depressed again. That's the way I read into it, but I can see where you're coming from it from that angle.
Okay. I
Yeah,
I think that I think that angle explains it a little bit better. Like I hadn't thought about it from that angle, and I don't know. I think that adds something to it for sure. Yeah.
yeah. That's the way I read into it, but I could see watching it. You're getting kind of frustrated because she's like she's older. Why doesn't she just keep the apartment clean? Like what the hell? I get that. I get
Right.
that perspective as well. So
Um Second little gripe.
sure,
This is my most pedantic gripe.
sure.
Does Sue have like a social security number? And if so, how the fuck did she get it?
Yeah,
And if
yeah.
she
I know.
doesn't, how is she getting paid?
Yeah,
These that is such a pedantic thing, but when I think about a movie and I think about, like, suspension of disbelief and
yeah. It's taking
putting
you out
myself
of
in
it.
the shoes of the characters, yeah,
Yeah.
that kind of thing takes me out of the story, the plot, because it's like, well,
How's she
she
getting
just came out of
jobs?
yeah,
Yeah.
she came out of nowhere. Like, how you're not getting paid if you don't have an identity, you
Right.
know?
Mm-hmm.
And we never see her. If all they had to do was like show me a 10-second scene of her getting like a fake ID,
Right.
and then boom, I'm done. I don't care anymore,
She meets a
you
guy in the
know?
back alleyway and gets a social security card, right, or something like that.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. So I don't know.
And maybe that's in the extended cut. I don't know. But uh but like that sort of logic breaking idea kind of does take me out of the story, you know?
I think it's fair criticism. Yeah.
Um and plenty of other movies have done other things to, to take me out of the story. So like we don't need to get into any of that, but like that was something that was going through my mind when she first like auditions for the job,
Yeah.
and
Mm-hmm.
starts taking over. Um Yeah, so Sue ends up, instead of respecting the balance, like just taking as much of the stabilizer fluid. Is that what they call it?
I think so. Yeah.
It's essentially like spinal fluid. Is she has to inject a needle into the other spine, take some fluid out, and then inject it into herself every day to not like have her body fall apart.
Hmm.
And anytime she goes past that 7 days, it takes time and life and vitality away from Elizabeth's older self. And so the first time we see that, she takes like an extra day or two, and then Elizabeth's finger is like suddenly the finger of an old granny, and it's
It's
just
like
her finger.
it's like disease looking and gross. Yeah.
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 Um, and that's the first kind of like, and it's not the first grotesque scene, but that's like the first kind of bit of real body horror, other than like the shedding of the skin and the birthing of Sue, that we
Hmm.
see in this movie. It's like an hour in,
Yeah.
and then eventually Sue gets like fed up with Elizabeth and just tries to stay as her younger self for as long as she can.
Okay. Yeah.
And eventually
Sorry, that was a weird response.
eventually huh?
My okay was a weird response. Sorry. You're good.
And then eventually she's not able to maintain that anymore, and then when Elizabeth comes to, she is really fucked up. Like
Hmm.
really, really fucked up. Um and that's why I was like, "Oh, this is great. I
Yeah.
love this."
Yeah,
You
it's
know?
starting to get to like the Fly territory by the end of this movie, like where it's just like
Yeah.
gross and meaty and slimy and all the things. Yeah.
Yeah. So she ends up being like this whole, she looks like a hag witch or something, you know? She's like
Mm-hmm.
all bent over and like really old and wrinkled and looks nothing like a human anymore at
Right.
that point.
Mm-hmm.
Um and
It's because she runs out, right? That's why she turns back. She runs out of the substance or whatever to keep her young.
yeah,
Yeah. Okay.
yeah, Sue runs out of the yeah, the substance, whatever you want to call it, to the stabilizer fluid that she has
Yeah.
to take from,
Mm-hmm.
she can't take anymore. She has drained all the life out of Elizabeth's body
So
essentially
Elizabeth
at
has
that
to
point.
be alive again, quote unquote, to
Uh-huh.
like get more of that substance, the fluid out of her. Right. Yeah.
Yep. Um yeah, and then do we want to talk about like the finale, because we're basically getting there at
Yeah.
this point.
Let's talk about it.
So she ends up, switching back, and then uh well, they end up in like, or is it old Elizabeth and Sue get into like a conflict, like
Mm-hmm.
Sue somehow comes awake again,
I think so. Yeah.
and then they get into like this big fight,
Mm-hmm.
and Sue goes off to do like the big end of the no, so hang on. We need to take a step back. She's supposed to be hosting this like New Year's Eve TV spectacular thing.
Yeah.
And that's when like she starts falling apart, like literally falling apart, because she doesn't have any more of the stabilizer fluid, and like her teeth start falling out and her fingernails start falling off, which
Mm-hmm.
is gross. Like,
Yeah.
I don't, teeth stuff in movies always fucking,
Tea
I
stuff
don't
in
like.
general just bothers me.
Yeah.
Yeah. I agree.
So that was gross. I did not like that. Um
Unsettling to say the least, for sure.
Unsettling is the good way to put it. Like, it's good effects for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
Like, I don't dislike it from that standpoint, but it is unsettling to watch. So she ends up going back and has to change back into Elizabeth, and then somehow they both become awake at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
And
That part did
uh
confuse me. I don't think it was very clearly explained how that even
no,
happens, right? Yeah.
yeah, I don't quite understand how they're both there at the same time. Um but then like Elizabeth ends up getting killed, but Sue can't leave, because she's all fucked up from like her teeth falling out and her fingernails and stuff. And so she takes some more of the original substance because she remembers that like the whole thing is supposed to be that it's supposed to make a younger, more beautiful version of yourself.
Yeah.
So she takes more of the substance and then births a fucking abomination,
Yep.
which is like another version of Elizabeth, essentially. But like
Mm-hmm.
with an arm coming out of her back and a face on her back, and
Just like the grossest thing you've ever seen. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, really, really fucked up version of like yeah, just a monster
Mm-hmm.
essentially.
Yep.
And then therein lies my next problem with this movie is that fucked up version of herself and she puts on like she cuts out the face of Elizabeth off like a painting
Yeah.
and like tapes it onto her fucked up face
Yeah.
and then goes to the New Year's Eve ball and is able to get onto the stage. I don't know if you've ever been backstage to like anything,
Yeah. That's not gonna work.
but no, there's no way that fucked up creature is getting anywhere near that stage.
Yeah.
Not without killing a whole bunch of people
Yeah.
beforehand.
That might have
you
been
know?
cooler, like in that scene where she just like maybe like ties people up or slits their throats or something to get up there. I think that would have made more sense. I can see that
But I don't think she really could do that because like
she's so gross.
she's so fucked up. She only has like one barely working arm and another arm that doesn't seem to work at all, and it's just literally coming out of her back shoulder.
Yeah.
You know?
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that's another thing where it's like there's no way. There's no way this actual finale ends up happening in any sort of reality.
It's a cool
you know?
a cool finale though. Like the
It
lead
is
up.
a cool finale.
Um,
So she comes out on stage and everybody's just like, what is going on? Like nobody understands what's happening, which like I could it's like a sense of shock just gets sent through the audience, right?
Mhm.
And then everybody starts screaming, and then somehow like her arm gets cut off and she starts just spraying blood all over the place.
Yeah.
And so it's a cool scene, but it doesn't make sense how it got there.
Yeah. I got you. And then does she takes more substance, right? And then does she birth somebody else? I can't remember how she gets to that final scene, like on the Hollywood star
So
Walk of Fame.
she ends up like bleeding out, and then like the body just sort of dissolves and leaves just like her face, Elizabeth Sparkle's face, essentially as like just a face attached to like a squid, we'll call it, like just like a tentacle blob, and she
Mhm.
crawls over to her Hollywood star and then disintegrates there.
Yeah. And it's just a really cool visual, but I can understand a little like things that took you out of it. Like how did she get up there? And then like you said, how does she have an identity? How is she getting paid for this? My thing about the movie is I just like it's very on the nose, all the imagery. Like I said, it's definitely a commentary on addiction and a commentary on fame and losing your stardom and where do you go from there type of thing.
Yeah, and
yeah.
the fact that Hollywood like almost requires you to be young and beautiful to be a part of it, you know?
And you got to
Like,
drain all of yourself out to become that young version that people want you to be, basically.
Yeah.
That's kind of like the whole theme of the movie, but I can
Yeah.
understand the little nitpicky shit like you were saying.
Yeah, and like the theming of the movie, I think is poignant and makes sense, especially because the person who directed this was a woman.
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember her name. I should probably get her name here. Hang on. Coraline
Mm-hmm.
Fargati. I don't know how to pronounce that. Fargeat.
I don't
She's
know.
French, so Ferget.
Ferget. Okay. I never read it out loud. I'll say that. That's why I didn't know how to pronounce it.
Yeah. I'm going to assume that I got that right.
It sounds right. Close enough.
But yeah, so it makes sense since she's the writer and director. It makes sense for a woman to write a story about the horrors of growing older in Hollywood,
Yeah.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Because that's essentially, to me, that's what the movie's about.
Pretty much, yeah.
Um. So yeah, I thought it was interesting. I think it had some really really good effects. I enjoyed it. Yeah, it was good.
It's probably like more of a mid tier recommendation. It sounds like though, not like a top tier.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
if I didn't put it onto Letterboxd yet, but I would give it like a 3.5 stars or maybe a 4.
Okay. I
So
just
like
the reason I suggested it is just I really love the effects in the movie. I thought it was so well done and so unsettling and so like gross fun, like
right.
to watch. So that's the thing that stuck out with me for this movie. I didn't really consider those plot elements, but you talking about them makes a lot of sense to me. So
Right.
yeah,
It's really well shot too. Like it's gorgeous looking movie.
It is. So
Lots of nudity too. If that is a problem for anybody listening, like
I knew it wasn't.
These women are naked.
Yeah.
Yeah. These women are naked like most of the movie, it seems. So.
Mm-hmm. That does whatever. I hate when people are super like they could watch the goriest thing, like someone's head get chopped off, but there's some tits in a movie and they just like freak out. That's dumb to me.
Right.
Yeah. Anyway.
Yep.
But I mean, I'm glad you at least enjoyed a decent amount of the movie, even though you had some gripes with it.
Yeah, like I don't want you to come away from this thinking that I hate this movie or anything.
No, I don't think that.
I think this movie's good. I do think this movie is really good. I think it's worth watching. I had a couple small issues with it.
No, you raised some good points for sure. But I'm glad you watched it. I'm glad you at least enjoyed it. Definitely, it was one of those ones that was so visually striking that it stuck with me a bit. And I was like, you know what? I'll see what Chris thinks about this one. So glad you at least enjoyed the effects and the general, just creepy, weird parts of it. So yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, do we want to do our new recommendations? Do you want to go first on this one? Kind of flip it.
Oh, did you go first last time?
I can't remember, honestly.
Okay. So I'm gonna have to send you a copy of this in the mail, Josh, because the movie that I want to recommend to you, I don't think is available on any streaming services unless you buy it. So
I might be able to find it as well too. Like I know.
I can send you a copy in the mail.
Okay, sounds good.
Okay. Not that big of a deal because it lives on my shelf. So I'll let you borrow my copy of it. All right.
That sounds good.
Do you like surfing, Josh?
Are you gonna make me watch Point Break?
No.
Okay.
Do you like penguins?
Yeah, I do.
Okay. Have you ever seen Surf's Up?
I actually haven't. No.
You're gonna watch Surf's Up this month. That's it. You're gonna be thankful for a little bit of surfing penguins.
This is a movie that was like very heavily advertised when we were kids, but I haven't seen it.
I
haven't seen it.
Yeah, it feels like nobody did.
Okay, and you like it, obviously. I
love this movie.
Okay, it's just a really fun kids movie. Is that what it is, or is there something more to it than that?
Oh, hang on. Let me get you the cast of this movie real quick. Hang on.
Okay. So, I'm not gonna tell you. Go ahead.
You've got Shia LaBeouf, Jeff Bridges, John Heder, Deidre Blatter, and what's the girl's name in this fucking movie? Hang on. It wasn't on the page that I was just looking at. Fucking cast. Zoe Deschanel.
Okay.
Like, that's a fucking cast right there, man.
Yeah. Okay, I'll watch it. Sounds fun.
James Woods. James Woods does a voice in this fucking movie.
That's right.
Yeah, one of the guys is Brian Posehn. He's got a voice in this movie.
I like that guy. Yeah,
this is great. This is just good stuff.
Let's do it. I'm down. Sounds like a nice like fall time, like just chill and watch a movie type of vibe. Like I like.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. All right. I did not expect that. I'm kind of like taken aback. I was like, that was not nowhere in the ballpark of anything I was expecting. Okay, cool. That's awesome.
No, I've been throwing you like stuff you've probably never seen in your life. Like, I'm throwing you weird anime that you've never seen. I've been throwing you fucking movies that I knew you never seen with John Carpenter. I've been throwing you fucking foreign films. No, let's just chill out with a good comedy.
Sounds good.
Let's be thankful that comedies exist.
There we go. All right. So I have a couple in my head that I want to suggest, but I don't know if you've seen them. They're some of them. A couple of them are more modern. One's I have 3 in my head. So if you've seen the first 2, okay. The hopefully the third one's good. All right. The one I want you to watch is Everything Everywhere All at Once. Have you seen it?
I have not seen this.
Dude, this is such a Chris movie. You're gonna fucking love this movie.
I have heard nothing but good things about this movie.
Okay.
And I've always meant to watch it. Just haven't gotten around to it.
Okay, so it's part comedy, part existentialism, like thinking about life. It's part amazing kung fu action. It's part time travel movie. It's a little bit of everything. Kind of. It's very. I'm not trying to overhype it, but it is kind of a little Big Trouble vibes. Like it's like there's a lot in this movie. It's gonna make you feel some emotions. You're gonna be grinning ear to ear most of the time. There's some amazing action. There's some crazy, ridiculous things that happen in this movie, and it's just a lot of fun. And I think you're gonna love it. So I want you to watch it.
Excellent. Sounds like a plan.
Sweet. All right. I think that's going to do it for our show today then. Do you want to plug what you do on the internet before we take off?
Yeah. You can find me on my other podcast, The Trash Station, where we talk about video games. Mostly weird indie video games that you probably haven't heard of, because that's what me and Max do. We play weird indie video games that most people don't play. That's fun. It's a good time. And then, you can find me at Scotch and Hobbies places if you want.
Twitch?
Yeah, twitch.tv/Scotch and Hobbies. I stream over there sometimes. I haven't been recently. Just been not feeling it, whatever reason. I'll get back to it eventually. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not like it's your job, It's like you just do it when you're feeling it, which I get.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do it for the fuck of it, really.
Right. Also, I love Trash Station. I listen to every episode. I'm sure you know that.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
No problem. And you can find my podcast, Indie Quest podcast about indie video games. I think that we're doing. Maybe by the time this one's out, it might be live, but soon we're doing. We asked our listeners to send us like music suggestions, like indie game songs, and we're gonna.
I'll send you some.
Yeah, you probably should, because I think we're doing that one when Steve gets back from Japan. So Steve's in Japan now, so when he comes back, we're gonna just chill and listen to some cool indie game music, and then usually the show is we're building the list of indie games you should check out too, the quest log. So check that out if you haven't, and you probably have if you're listening to this, and if you made it 3 hours in to this one.
Maybe
I
don't know. Do you want to hear both of us talk about indie video games? You have several hours worth of content about indie video games.
Yeah, several hundred.
Yeah. I'm not at several hundred yet. You've been doing it longer than me.
Yeah, you'll get there.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. We'll get there eventually.
So I guess next time we'll be talking about Surf's Up and Everything Everywhere All at Once, and then we'll probably recommend Christmas-adjacent movies to each other, I would assume, next time, since it's getting into the holiday season. So, should be fun.
Yeah, maybe. We'll see.
Oh, I already know. Honestly, I already know what I'm going to suggest to you. So that one's already been set in stone in my head for a long time. So I'm excited for that one. But we'll see you guys next month for another episode.
Yeah, we'll see you next time.